All right. Well, hello, everyone. A little bit late here. We had a little pregame chat going on. ST was talking about his new hockey game, matchup hockey.
Oh, God. Let's not start that rumor.
Why not?
Yikes.
Oh, no, we're only kidding about that. But anyway, I wanted to jump on. And you know something? I want to give a shout out here. I'm going to shout out to my brother who's actually watching me here. He doesn't follow any of this stuff, but every now and then I'll see him tuning in on YouTube. So, my brother, hey, what's going on, Steve? You got the new snowblower ready? We got 2 feet of snow coming. So as soon as you do your driveway, you can drive over and do my driveway if you want. Yeah, we got 2 feet. You know what's kind of weird when you look at they showed the map of Massachusetts. It's like it's like 10 to 20, and then like right along the coast there's a little like quarter moon around the coast. And it's like, oh, you guys are gonna get 24. It's like, oh, perfect. I'm right in that little thing. Oh man, we're always in the jackpot, they call it. We're in the jackpot area, so we're expecting that. So it's gonna be interesting when it starts coming in on Sunday. Now, some of our listeners are already getting it. They're like 10 or 12 hours ahead of us on the weather cycle. So they're already getting pounded on it. So if you're in the chat and you're getting snow already, or if it's coming in tomorrow, let us know. I wanted to have a little pre-storm chat. I wanted to actually follow up on our fictional podcast, which got a lot of response. Let me tell you, I think that was one of our better shows, and just the response was pretty good. And again, ST wants to talk a little hockey. All kidding aside, I'm going to talk some hockey, plus whatever you guys want to talk to. So, and again, I'm joined by Joe, and I'm joined by ST Patrick. You guys might remember ST. And so let me just say hi to the chat room, and then we can pick it up from wherever you guys want to go. We have the next Philadelphia Flyers goaltender here, Ray's here as well. Good to see you, Ray.
Raymond tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to play some hockey.
Oh, nice. AP's by. Mr. Frank comes by. Thanks for coming by, Frank. I was in touch with him today about the giveaway, and we'll be having that shortly. Are we in a snow delay? Yeah, we were having a little snow delay while we were kind of chatting here. And Rowdy comes by, and a few other people. Scott comes by as well. Scott, how's the APA going? Scott was going to play some APA, and so I want to know how that went. Brian comes by. And Duffy Man misses the snow.
Mm-hmm. We got some heavy hitters in here tonight.
Yeah, we got some pretty good ones here. And the Rogue comes by. And actually this afternoon, when I get done some work and stuff, I played some Strat PC baseball today. I streamed it on the channel here. I think it was like 10-8. It was a high-scoring game. Fergie Jenkins didn't get out of the third inning. He got lit up. It was 1980, California, Texas. A just random game. Fun time. That's the great thing about Strat PC baseball. You can just drop in, pick an unscheduled game, pick your teams, pick what part of the season, and it actually filled in a roster for you. I was like, that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
That's ironic because I finished my 1972 Strat World Series replay today.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, Oakland 1-6.
Oh, wow.
Oakland.
Yeah.
My boys.
Tough team.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a good era for the A's.
Yeah.
Right now, we are not in a good era for the A's.
So, anyway, so I have tonight off a little bit here. Well, I usually have Friday nights off usually, but I don't have hockey in the morning because it's supposed to be 0 in the morning at 7 a.m. And I says I just am not going to go into the rink at 0 degrees. It's just too cold. It's too cold, and then I got to go to another rink for like 8 or 9 hours in the afternoon. I says, no, I'm not going to sit in hockey rinks all day and all night when it's 0 degrees. So I canceled the morning. I says, I could just picture how many texts I'm going to get. Oh, my car won't start. Oh, I'm not going to be there. It's like, yeah.
I remember when I played goalie, when I played ice hockey, and when rinks weren't as around as they are today. You know, back then it was rare. You had to get ice time sometimes 1-2 o'clock in the morning. And we were in a league, and we'd go play midnight. And I remember like weather like this, and you're going in the locker room, and it's 10 below, and you're taking your clothes off to put on your equipment. You're like, whoa.
That's the hard thing is when you get to the rink and is to take off your warm jacket and your pants and stuff and start putting on cold gear. That is really tough. Yes. So many times I've gone up to the rink because I got to be there because I run it, and I'm just like, you know something? I'm not playing tonight. It's just too cold, you know. Oh man. And Crew Fan says he's expected 4 to 20. Yeah, they were saying 10 to 20. That's a big difference. 10
That's
to
a big
20.
difference.
But now it's, they settled that we should be getting 20 at least. And I'm like, oh, they
I
said,
truly believe that they don't know. That's why they say 4 to 20,
yeah,
5 to 60, because they don't know.
yeah. Rowdy, my wife went out tonight just to go to CVS, and she says it was just the lines wrapped around the building, and
Milk and bread, milk and
yeah.
bread.
Well, it's just she was getting a prescription, so everybody's getting their prescription because
No,
it could mean Sunday, Monday could be bad, So I mean, people might not be able to get out till Tuesday. I don't know if you're going to be getting out of here, Joe. Right?
I'm hoping.
Again, yeah, -24 last night. That is nuts. Big red machine comes by, and Mr. Field comes by. Yeah, they were.
Hey, Michael Caine, how are you?
Mike Caine.
Yeah, the big red machine.
Yeah.
They had a map last night. I threw it up on Facebook last night for fun, and it showed kind of like the top half of the United States, and then like all of Canada, and I remember it Boston was like 20, which is fine, and then like somewhere up in Canada was like -35 without the wind chill. I'm like, who would live there? I don't care.
Yikes.
I'm walking out of there in the summer. I don't care if I don't have a dime in my
Yikes.
pocket. You can't live in a place like that.
Minnesota. Right? Oh
Yeah,
my
they're
goodness.
getting cold.
Oh,
They're getting cold too.
They
Oh,
always
man.
they always get cold. I remember the year in the Vikings, the roof caved in.
Oh
From
yeah,
the
with all the
cold and
snow. Yeah. And Crew Fan, the store is completely insane. Yeah, I do that too. It's like right before Christmas, I go out to do something. It's like, oh man, look at all these people here. What was I thinking?
Mm.
You ever hear of Vic DiBitetto? He's a comedian.
I think I've heard the name.
You look him up. He does a whole skit about it's snowing and everybody milk and bread, and he does.
Oh
he
yeah,
goes into
yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. So anyway, so if you guys in the chat room here have any comments on the fictional show that we did the other day, if you've heard it, it was very enjoyable. What I liked about that is we had Joe and Marco on, and I was kind of like interviewing them with questions, and it was fun seeing their reaction to the questions. And I threw a couple of curveballs at them, and we talked about that, and we talked about some of the fun that you can have in fictional. In fact, I found that I was having some fun in fictional that I didn't think I could have.
Yeah,
Really.
me too. I never thought until XHL. Never. When I first got into play, I was like, this fictional stuff. What? See, I want real players on the field.
Yeah.
And then XHL. Now I'm doing the baseball. I'm going to probably do football.
Yeah.
I'm doing a hockey again.
I still prefer the regular teams and the regular players because that's what I grew up. But that's what I do this far. But every now and then, it's fun just to play something that I don't want to say doesn't matter, but there's no connection to, and it just I don't know who these guys are or what these teams are, and it's just fun seeing something completely different,
like I said the other night, sometimes you play. Ted Williams, my favorite all-time baseball player. I probably said 1,000. And if he gets up with the bases loaded and he hits into double play, I'm disappointed. But with a fictional, he hit into a double play. Okay, next batter.
Yeah. And that's what the thing is with fictional. You don't know anybody, and you don't like this guy's doing well, but is it a fluke early in the season, or is he really going to do that? So we can talk about the fictional if you want to do that, and we can also talk about the snowstorm coming in. What I was going to talk about tonight originally was, with the snow coming in, and now that they pretty much told us that half the country is going to get nailed with a foot or more snow, or at least some places are getting ice that never get ice. How does this affect your gaming plans? Are you going to be inside playing? Now, myself, it all depends. I mean, because, I have to do the shoveling and the snow blowing. So if we get the 24 or 27 inches, I'm going to be out there 3 or 4 times. I'm going to be too tired to game. I would think I'm going to come in and take a nap and go back out and take another nap. It's tiring moving that much snow. So for me, if we get that much, it's going to affect my gaming. If we're closer to the 10, even though that's a lot, that's stuff I can pretty much move around pretty easily, and then I could find myself gaming. So, yeah, I mean, we might have a plow. Actually, her nephew says, I got a plow. Let me know. It's like, I might take you up on that, I'll give you some money to come over and plow out my driveway to save me an hour's worth of work. But, yeah, so I guess it all depends for myself how much snow we get and how tired I am. And other people, like I said, that have it all taken care of might just be like, this is great. I'm all snowed in. There is something about, let me be honest. You guys, let me know what you think. There's something kind of cool about being snowed in, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that goes back to childhood, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, and I'm not saying it's awesome, but it's like, there was a couple times that we were snowed in and everything was shut down. And like, one of the neighbors would come over and hang out with us and have a drink and watch TV or chat, or they'd bring the dog over and the dogs would play because you couldn't really go anywhere. So you were kind of stuck in your own house, your own neighborhood. And in a way, it was kind of fun, but knowing that like the next day you could get back out,
Yeah,
that's the other thing,
There's almost a bonding that takes place, and I liken that. You ever notice like when we've had major blackouts, like the neighbors will come outside and you're all standing outside and you kind of bond. And the
Yeah.
same thing happens like in a storm. Everybody's out, you're helping each other. Sometimes these things they actually, like you said, it's kind of almost
Yeah.
not fun, but it brings
It
people
is.
together.
Yeah.
I also feel like you saw a part of the world that you couldn't normally see, where now, because of the internet, you can see any part of the world at any time you want to see. But remember being home as a kid on a snow day and you were able to watch shows that you could never watch otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you were able to watch even advertisements that weren't shown at night. They were only shown during the day. But you could watch, especially the television shows. Now you can watch any
Anything
show at
at
any
any
time on
time.
any service. So you
So
don't
true.
have that sort of
So true, ST. Wow.
a fractionalized life where it used to be where you could only do certain things if you go outside. Well, now you can just watch those being done. Now there's a game with that being done, whatever job it is. It, it and life used to have to be experienced in fractions, right? And now it feels like you have access to anything at any time, any way that you'd like to have access to it,
Pretty much. Yeah.
and you just don't have the same experiences, I think.
Perfect example to build on what you said, how it's true. Christmas shows. You remember you couldn't wait all year to watch, like when I was a kid, Rudolph,
Yeah.
Frosty.
Like,
Now you can
is
put
it
it on in July.
Thanksgiving night,
No
the
fun.
night after Thanksgiving, the big ones was on, and
March of the Wooden Soldier.
it's so far from it's just we're just still putting away the turkey, and you're gonna have this on. It's like, and then you miss it. You're like, oh, it's gone.
True.
Yeah. It was like, it was like hearing a song on the radio. And I remember I would have pause and record,
Oh yeah, the two
just
buttons.
waiting for like a couple songs that I wanted to record on my Maxell cassette or something. And I'd have to hurry and hit the pause button right when it started. Like now, the kids don't have any concept of what that's like. And it's not worse that you can have songs on demand. It's not a worse life. It's just an experience that is now antiquated. It's gone.
I remember I love the what is it, the what's with the Scrooge one? Is that Twas the Night Before Christmas, or what's the Scrooge movie?
A Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
I couldn't think of it. There's so
Gardner.
many. I know.
Oh my goodness. I'm
I
signing off.
yeah, but I just couldn't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I knew it was Christmas something.
Yeah, it's not
like that.
popular or anything.
No, but there's so many of them. There's a Christmas Carol, there's The Night Before Christmas. There's just so many.
Yeah.
But anyway,
There's a lot.
The Three Ghosts and the Scrooge. I love that story, and I ended up finding 3 more versions of that.
Oh, there's a
on-
ton.
I didn't know those. I knew there was 5 or 6, but I ended up going on to Tubi or something like that.
Yeah.
And I found 3 more, like from the 40s and the 50s, that I'd never seen. Some were like
Yeah.
10 minutes and some were
Yeah.
45. And just very different tellings of the story. And it was just fun to watch. And I love watching those. Anyway, my favorite, at least at the time, was the Patrick Stewart one.
Yeah.
So I always loved, and again, you'd have to try to find it on the TV. Well, I ended up going to a video store, and they had to order it for me. They ordered the DVD for me, and
I think that came
call
out
me.
in the 90s after he did Star Trek.
I think so. Yeah,
I think.
so
It's relatively new,
yeah,
but it's good.
Comparatively speaking. But I mean, back when it come out, it was on TV once or twice. Like, oh, I want that one. I went in the store, like, we don't have. We can order it. They had to order it, and then a week or 2 later, hey, your movie's in, and I went and picked up the DVD, and that's how you did it back then.
Yeah.
There was no going to Pluto or buying it on whatever and watch it. There was just, you had to go get the DVD, and if they didn't have it,
Going to the video store. Hey, can you? Oh, this was coming. You beg the guy. Come on, I'm your good customer. Just reserve it for me for Saturday.
Yeah.
Keep it one day.
Yeah.
Right now, you just stream it.
I made my home in those stores back
Yep.
then. I I'm not shy I'm not shy about this. And I'll explain it after the bizarre comes out of my mouth. I paid $65 for a brand new copy of JFK by Oliver Stone the day it came out, right?
Wow.
Because back at that time, VHS tapes did not go right to Walmart to be sold.
No.
Some of them were straight through to sell, right? Most of them went to video stores for 6 to 8 months or even a year. And then you would be able to buy it at Walmart for, say, $19.95. But if you wanted to buy it from a video store, you had to pay the price that they paid. So you had to pay about $65 for a new tape. And I had gone to see JFK, I don't know, 5 or 6 times and love it. It's still in my all-time top 5.
Good movie.
Love it.
Good movie.
Which anybody who knows me well understands and is not surprised by that at all. But $65, and I'm glad they sold it to me because I'm not so sure that they were supposed to sell those. But I'm glad they did because I tell the story now and everyone's always like, what are you, $65? What are you talking about? But
No,
yeah,
wasn't
you
crazy then. That wasn't.
either had to do that or you had to wait about a year until it was finally for sale. That was really the only option that you had. And you might have had HBO, but like not everything went to HBO or
Yeah.
streaming, which was cable at that time, the way it does now.
No.
Like
It's in the
HBO,
movie,
when
right.
you look at everything that was out, they didn't really get like a lot of movies. I mean, how many times can you watch Splash and Jaws, right? I mean, and Halloween, but yeah, I can remember riding my bicycle to the video store to pick it up, and I don't know why I was riding a bike because I was like 19, but back when I could still ride a bike, yeah. Love those many years ago. So
I
You know what?
I remember. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dave. You go.
I remember my first
that's right, Ben.
video rental, right? We called up, there was a catalog, some kind of photography catalog, and we called this company. I think they were in like Louisiana. And we called up using my grandmother's credit card, and they shipped the video cassette to a local business. We went, picked it up at the local business, come home, watched it, brought it back to this place, whatever it was, and then they shipped it back to Louisiana. That's how I rented some of my first videotapes. Would you look at the catalog, what was available? You call them up, okay, give them the credit card, and they shipped it. You watched it, and there was no Blockbuster, there was nothing like that. It was kind of like through the mail, but they didn't come directly to your house. There was
go pick it up. Right?
Yeah, from
drop shipped it.
Whatever kind of store it was. Yeah, it was really weird.
I remember as a kid, my father. I don't know if you had this where you guys live. It was one of the first cables called WHT Network, and they shipped the box to your house and you hooked it up. But the whole thing, what it was, whatever the movie was, they just played it and played it and played it for a week, the same movie.
Yeah.
And then the next week, the new movie, the same. And we were ecstatic, wow, a movie in the house. But it was the same movie.
Yeah.
Man, amazing. Those were amazing times.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like you had to, you had to be very resourceful and you had to learn things by experience back then. Not that you don't now, but it seems like everything was a little bit more trial by fire in a sense.
In a way, it was, obviously I love having every album and, movie at my fingertips right now. But when you didn't, it made it a little more special when you did.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just, it's like, oh yeah, I got this record. I'm listening to this, or oh, that come on the radio and I got it recorded. Finally got that song recorded, or you rent this movie or whatever it was. But now with it, it's no big
A,
deal now.
a new album's
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
Wow, Kiss released a new album. I'm going to the store. What day is it released? And you wait in the store. You save your money, go up there. Now
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, I could just download it.
Yeah.
There are very few songs that I hear now and say, "Oh my gosh, I haven't heard this in 20 years." Because they're so
Mhm.
available all the time, and I have Spotify, so I have a million
Right. So do I.
playlists
Yes.
for every genre
Oh
and
yeah.
every decade or whatever. And there's not anything. Music is still nostalgic. It can still take me back to a time and a place or a person, and but not as much as it used to when you hadn't heard it in 20
Mhm.
years or hadn't heard it in 30 years. It's a little different now for sure.
Yeah, you'd hear a song, like you said, before you hear a song, you say, "Oh, I remember that. I was 17 and I
Yeah.
was at
Yeah.
such and
High
such a
school
place
prom.
doing this," right? Now, like you said today, you kind of think about, "Oh, yeah, I remember that."
Yeah.
True, true.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
a crazy
Like,
thing.
I'll be working here on the computer and I'll put either something on YouTube to listen to or a podcast, or sometimes I go to YouTube Music and I'll listen to music. And the other day I was listening to some Black Sabbath, and then I put on some Rush, and then I put on some Boston, and then I put on the Monkees.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear some Last Train to
Listen,
Knoxville.
a wildly underrated band. I like a lot of their songs,
mhm.
and they really got a bad rap at the time in the moment. And now I think they're actually good. I like those songs. But
The Monkees are pretty good. They
that's
they
right,
came
Ben.
out.
That's why we play 80s baseball
Yes,
now
yeah, I
because
saw that.
it's still nostalgic to
Mhm.
Yeah.
us. It still holds that. That's
Yeah,
that's that's exactly right.
all our sports games.
Put that
Yeah.
playlist.
Hey,
I don't know what to
hey,
win
nostalgia
playlist.
is a magic thing.
It is. It is.
I heard Colin Cowherd recently say that he has no use for any nostalgia
Wow,
whatsoever. That he only deals with like as a philosophy in life today and tomorrow. Um,
poor him.
yeah, that's kind of what I thought, Joe. I kind of thought, man, so many great memories of
Hmm.
people and places and times and eras are tied to the sights and the sounds or even the smells. Do you recall the smell of a good Pizza Hut back in the 80s?
No, I know what you're saying. Right, you could walk
I
in.
mean, you would, as soon as you pulled in the parking lot, like a good Pizza Hut had the Pizza Hut smell. Um,
When Dave was talking about the locker room, and I was saying they played
yeah,
goalie, the smell, Dave, you know what I'm
Oh yeah,
talking
you
about.
can still
The
smell the hot
yeah,
smell of
smell.
the
yeah,
locker room came
Yeah.
into my nostrils. I
Yeah,
like,
it's unbelievable. I still got to every now and then in the fall, I'll be somewhere like walking the dog or something, and I'll get that whiff of like rotting leaves,
mm,
and that brings me back to the late 70s, early 80s where we played street
yeah,
hockey. And
mhm.
that
yeah.
smell, I just remember that smell as a kid. All I could smell was that when we were playing street hockey as a kid and leaves would come on the street or the driveway and get in our way. Every time I smell, and it's rare now, it's because it's a different
Yeah.
world. But every now and then I'll get that whiff and I'm like, oh man, that takes me right back to street hockey as a kid.
No, so in Illinois, where I'm from, high school basketball was everything. And Brian Hoxie knows if he's in the chat room now. He experiences this as well. And so the first cold night of every fall, cold like November cold. Um, I still get that instant recall of the high school gymnasium. Our town had 10,000 people, and our high school gym
Yeah.
held over 3,000, and it packed
Hmm.
every single game, packed
Wow.
to the rafters. And the smell of the popcorn, the sound of the high school band, the alma mater. I still know every word of my high school alma mater. Uh, it, you can't replace what that brought into your life. And I think having a healthy tie to nostalgia which we all have with all these games now, is a really it's a good thing. It's an introspective thing. It's a positive thing.
100%.
That talking about smells again. I remember I joined a gym in 15, 20 years ago. I'm in a different gym now, but anyway, I was at a different gym, and they had a small little court to play basketball in. You could play full court basketball, but it wasn't much bigger than that. And so I
Mhm.
would go in the morning, and I had the place to myself, and I just go shoot some baskets before or after I did the treadmill or whatever. And I remember going in there in the winter, and they had the heat going in there, and it was kind of like this old, I don't know if it was a baseboard or just whatever kind of metal panel. It, and that smell in that gym was the same smell that I had as a kid in some of the gyms in my
Yeah.
school. And
Yeah.
I remember that from the 70s and the 80s, that particular smell in that gym, something about
Yeah.
that kind of heat in that big open space. It's like, wow, it just, every time I go in to play basketball, I was like, wow, I just went back
Yeah.
40 years
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah. No, I write often about 1984 because it was a cultural high in my life, right? For many reasons. Um, the music, Hollywood, sports, everything was peaking in
Yeah,
1984.
movies, yeah.
I want to apologize to everyone in the chat room. I am not skilled at this. So it is very hard for me to look at my laptop in the chat room and read it and talk up here and go back and forth. If I don't get to answer you, if you ask anything, my apologies. It's my fault for just not being that good
I
at
try to
this.
put it up on the screen.
Hey,
So
thanks, Rowdy.
yeah, Rowdy got the squared circle book.
Awesome.
And
Thank you so
as Steve
much.
said, I know he's busy right now, but he's going to try to carve out some time and he's going to show me how to play it here on the channel because I have that too. And
Yep.
I'm going to get the PDF and print out a couple of guys, and we're going to kind of walk through it and see how it goes. I'm kind of in a wrestling thing right now, as you can tell. I enjoyed that Phil
I
Singer
always
wrestling.
am. So
Yeah, it's a fun time. Yeah, you notice that a lot of commercials today still play the 80s,
yeah.
90s music. You got the
Absolutely.
AC and the
Yeah.
Aerosmith and all that stuff there.
And it's funny. I have
It's the
nephews,
target audience. It's who's got the spendable income, right?
but
Yeah.
it's funny. Those commercials come on, and I have nephews. My kids, and I'll start singing the song. They'll say, "How do you know that song, Uncle Joe?" I'd say, "What do you think? It came out today?" It's
Yeah.
That's right, man.
Barbara said she used to lead her street hockey league in penalties. So I don't know what that means, but
She must be
speaking
rough.
speaking of hockey. You had a
yeah.
mention something, St.
Yeah.
Let's go to hockey.
All righty. Well, a couple more comments here.
Yeah, let's take a few comments first.
Just a few more here. The one tabletop game plays more realistic than the real thing. The wrestling, and we'll have to do a wrestling show because it is weird. Wrestling, real, because at least the couple games that I played, I haven't played the Squared Circle yet. I played Downey Wrestling, and I played the Phil Singer games, and I played Chris's Dice Wrestling, which is very similar to the Phil Singer. And it's really, you really have to make a lot of it up in your head because I guess it's kind of like baseball where you get a single. Okay, you can describe the single. The guy dove, missed the ball. I mean, but with wrestling, it's like he throws him in the ropes and then he kicks him. So
Now a lot of narrative.
it's a lot of
that's true.
storytelling with wrestling.
I mean, it's kind of like an RPG, is it not?
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Speaking about,
I mean, the thing about the Squared Circle, actually, and I was talking to Dave about this a few nights ago because it is my contention that it's going to be hard to show on the channel. And so what we're going to show is a match, right?
Mhm.
But the game was designed to really be sort of the deep, deep, deep dive into the sport where you can make a schedule and make territories and run an operation and really get into the time period and the character and the specialty matches. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it wasn't really designed as like a short, this is so hilarious. Oh, it's a body slam. That's funny. It wasn't really designed like that. It was really designed for people that wanted to do that deep, deep dive of, I want to go back there and have it feel like it did when I loved watching every moment of it. And, it's a big world kind of game. and it's going to be hard to show on the channel. More than happy to do it. More than happy to have a match or have a battle royal or something like that. But when we do, know that it's a much larger world than we're actually able to show in
Sure.
an hour. And it's hard to describe how, and it's hard to describe why.
We'll do our best. We'll do our
Yeah,
best.
yeah, yeah.
You
We can
know?
absolutely do that.
So I want to show it off. Before we get to the hockey, funny story. I was playing a video game tonight. Actually, I in my YouTube, it was showing highlights of an old video game I played. It's like 13, 14 years old, this game.
Yeah.
I played it
Yeah.
on the old Xbox 360. That's how far back it goes. And so I bought it on Steam for $5. I was like, oh,
Mm.
great, I'll play it. It wouldn't play because my computer's too new.
Mm.
Which I thought
Too new.
Steam kind of ironed
Wow.
that out, that if they put a game on there, it would play. But because my computer's too new, it wouldn't play.
Yeah.
So I had to get a refund. And then I looked, so I fired up my my PlayStation 4, which is an older one, and I had it on there. I was like, oh, so I'm gonna play it. So I've been playing that adventure game. And two things. One, I found that like when I was dying or falling off the cliff and dying, I was getting real angry. And that's kind of how video games are. Is you know, you get the control,
Yeah.
because it's all about your dexterity and how you can, you know, shoot the gun or move the guy. Whereas when I'm rolling dice on the table, there's like no anger or very little. Maybe if your team's losing, you know what I mean? You're like a bummer, but there's something about the video games, and you see all those people breaking TVs and stuff. That's all real. That's how angry you can get playing these games. And I found myself 6 times dying. I was like, "What? 6 times, really?" And I like, wow, I'm getting kind of mad. It's like it's something I don't experience when I'm doing the tabletop stuff.
Mhm.
So that's the
Mhm.
first thing I wanted to say, that boy, going back to video games,
Yeah.
even for a couple of nights. Wow, I forgot
Yeah.
how upset you can get. And secondly, and I told this story to you guys before, is I'm playing this game and I'm in the jungle, and I'm trying to hunt like boars and pigs and stuff like that so I can craft whatever I'm crafting, and so I can hear them in my headset. And all of a sudden, I took it off to answer the phone or something, and I could hear the headset, still all the animals in the headset, and I was like, boy, that friggin' dog is just doing nothing but howling in this game, right? It's like, what? It's like, wait a sec. Is that the game, or is that a police siren, right? I hear the wife walking upstairs. She goes, are you hearing that coyote outside? The coyote was so loud. She goes, I think it's in the backyard because it woke me up. It's like, I could hear, I had my headset on and I could hear it. That's how loud the thing was.
I thought
Wow.
Dave, when he said he was hunting boar and pigs, he was going to talk about Lord of the Flies.
I might as well, yeah. Same kind of thing. I was hunting those guys. Yeah, so you know, ST's like, yeah, ST was texting me and says, hang on a sec, I need 10 minutes. I'm trying to liberate an outpost. So I'm going around the outpost trying to, you know, get rid of all the bad guys and liberate it. That's kind of how the game was. But I like I say, imagine having the headset on now, playing a game with all the sounds in your headphones, and you can still hear the coyote howling outside in the woods. It's like, holy cow. But anyway, so that is that. Yeah, so yeah, ST's basketball game is it's getting close. He said March Madness. He's getting close.
Yeah,
I would
early
like
March.
I would like to think that we're going to see some matchup basketball at Digital to Dice Con in May. I'd like
Oh,
to.
you definitely will. I'm going to do the live debut of the game at IndyCon in April. So for sure, we'll do it in May. Absolutely.
Crew fan, what do you have planned for the next edition of the Squared Circle? Anything yet?
Yeah, I answered right after. We're going to go back to Atlanta. The core rulebook ends at the end of 1986. So we're going to do 1987 through the week before Nitro begins in 1995. That's next.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good time period. It's a fun time period. It's going to be I'm charting it now. So amongst other things, but yeah, it's a great time period that a lot of people recall. It was the first time Hulk Hogan was in Atlanta as part of, you know, the territory. It was Ricky the Dragon was back there in '89.
Yeah.
Doing the 3 matches with Ric Flair. It's the rise of Sting. It's the rise of Luger and the Steiner brothers and Harlem Heat. And oh my gosh. I could go on and on and on, but it's that time period,
Well,
and it's going to end the week before Nitro begins because Nitro is going to be a whole era unto itself. So
nice.
Wow.
Right. This
Wow.
afternoon in my YouTube feed, the Hogan Sheik match when Hogan won the title MSG
Yeah.
and it was 84. That come so I had to watch the end
January
of
of '84, again back to 1984.
94. There
Yeah.
you go.
that. Yeah. And he's in there. He's got the what are they called? Camel clutch. He's got the camel, clutch, and Hogan's like, hey, and he fights him off and flips him over, drops
Yeah.
the leg, and 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, people go nuts for that.
Yeah.
Wrestling can be kind of fun. It really can.
Yeah.
So,
No,
anyway.
it's an interesting. The Iron Sheik was actually pretty fantastic in the early '80s. He had a feud with Sergeant Slaughter
hmm
in the spring of '84, around April and May, where if you can find those matches on YouTube, man, they are fierce but they're awesome, and Sheik is awesome. Like when he got older, not so much. Of course, it's a hard sport to maintain as you get older, but he was great in '84. Great, but he just got hit. I mean, Hogan was going to be the star. Like they had decided that in '81, but Hogan didn't want to leave the territory that he was in '81. But by '83, they'd basically made the agreement, and so he comes in January of '84 and wins the title right away, and sparks Hulkamania for the next 5,
You had to do it,
6 years. Actually, yeah, 6 years.
How big was Hulkamania though? I
Oh
mean,
my God!
as good as the Sheik was.
cartoon,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
the marketing deals, the albums, 2 albums, hosting SNL, all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yes.
kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Great match. You're exactly right, crew. Great match.
Yeah. And I had fun, like I said, doing that Phil Singer game. I had fun in the matches I was doing, and just picturing this guy and this guy in the ring doing their thing, and just it was a simple game.
Yeah,
and-
it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I mean, the sport has always been popular with me. I've loved it since my dad took me as a kid to kind of an indie territory and an outlaw territory in our region, and then we would watch it late Saturday nights because we had no cable at the time, so that's all we saw. And I've loved it ever since. So
we went to a match at the original Boston Garden as kids.
yeah,
My dad took me, my brother. I don't know if my brother's still watching, if he even remembers it, but he took me and my brother and my stepbrother in at the time. And so we go through, and you're taking your tickets, and and so the 3 of us go through. I was like, where's my dad? I turn around, and he comes walking up behind us, laughing his ass off.
yeah.
And I'm like, again, must be
Yeah.
late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
And so he's laughing, and we're like, what's so funny? And he goes, the guy patted me down, and he went like this, and he goes, what's this? And he goes, and my dad's like, I got my cigarettes in my pocket, and the guy goes, what's this? And he goes, it's a. I don't want to say the word. YouTube might get mad.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a G, and the guy's like, go, and he's laughing his ass off. You know what I mean? Nowadays you couldn't do stuff like that.
No,
But he was being a wise guy. He's like, no, it's a pack of cigarettes. What do you think it is? And he's laughing at it because he. But I'm like, at the time, yeah, it's pretty funny. But like, today, it's like if he did that, I'd be like, pull him aside. It's like, oh, you think it's funny? Back in the day.
The Boston Garden looked fantastic on television, right? And so when they would have matches there, I can remember like the lighting was incredible for the time period.
Yeah.
Like it looked really bright and the mat looked great. Like everything looked great. The Spectrum looked fantastic as well because it looked like so many people were right near the ring at the Spectrum. When you used to watch MSG matches, I always thought it was fascinating because they would always come in from behind the ring. They always had a doorway
Oh yeah, yeah.
area that was backstage, and they shot it where the door was sort of on the opposite side of the ring, and they would all come in that direction. Where now it's always from the side, right?
Mm.
So they all three had their individual looks that were amazing at that time period. And you always know, even if they didn't say where they were showing matches from, you always knew because the look was so unique.
What I enjoyed, and then we'll get to the hockey after this.
Yeah.
What I enjoyed when I was going in the 70s, I only went 3 or 4 times. It was like a movie theater. It was dark except the ring. The ring was lit up. You could see everything, and that was like the spotlight. And last time I went, which was probably 22 years ago, we went to one in Worcester that they were taping the Mick Foley and The Rock and Stone Cold were there. It seemed like the whole place was kind of lit up, so you could see the crowd better, and it didn't have that intimate feel like all the attention was on the ring. Now it's like you can see everything. You can see the crowd. It was a different feel.
It's the product of 90s television where they decided that they wanted you to see the fans.
Yeah.
So they lit up the entire arena as opposed to just having the sort of spotlight effect on the mat. I prefer kind of a dark background with the spotlight on the mat. I think it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
But they don't do that anymore. No, they absolutely do not.
So anyway, all right, let's move on to hockey.
Hockey.
So you got 2 guys that know nothing about hockey here.
You have one guy that knows very little about hockey here, and hence my problem.
I'm kidding. Me and Joe know a little bit about hockey. So go ahead and fire away your hockey questions. We'll do the best we can.
So here's where I'm at. I can play shootout hockey because all the lines are divided.
Mm-hmm.
I can play stone cold hockey because the players, it's a finder,
Mm-hmm.
in essence. I want to be able to play Hockey Blast just as much because I think it's a pretty phenomenal game. But let's start here. I am not someone who knows anything beyond, like, I would love to see Hull score some goals or Patrick Kane or Wayne Gretzky or somebody like that. I would like to keep some basic stats. But I can't even set the game up because I don't know how to do lines. So I guess the first question I would ask you is there a good place where you can get, and I don't mean game by game lines, but just
A general idea.
general lines of who the lines were for a team in, say, 1984?
I may be able to help you with that. Okay.
Okay. But how about everybody else out here right now?
No, where I'm getting at is
okay.
It's very hard to actually. There's not a lot of places to find actual lines.
Okay.
I have 1 or 2 resources where I reached out to the guy who has a site and I said, "Can you?" And he actually did some research and found it. So I will definitely send that to you. But it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible, right,
Yeah.
Dave?
Right. Yeah.
That does make it hard.
So one resource that I use, okay.
Okay.
And again, I don't know how accurate it is, but if you go to the APA website, okay, it used to be able to just download them, but now you got to actually put them in your cart. You can download the APA season roster master sheet. I don't know how else to describe it. It has all the players and all the teams that are carded for APA. Okay. They're free. So you could actually put it in your cart. It would say 0 and you could check out without a credit card because it's free and you would get the PDF. So they're always free with APA. Now you got to put them in a cart and buy them, but you still don't need a credit card. So when you get they're not called the team, the season sheets. Basically it's a master list of all the guys. APA puts them in order.
Okay.
Now, it's not necessarily the
Not necessarily the
lines,
lines, but
but it shows you their top left wing, the top center, the top right wing, right? And then
Okay.
it's the second guy, and then the third guy. All as many as they card, they go down in order. So I use that as a loose guideline. So it's like if I got Phil Esposito here, and then it's Derek Sanderson here, and then it's Johnny Busick here, or whatever it is. That's kind of probably I'm going to go line 1, 2, and 3 because that's
Okay.
how they list them. So loosely, that's what I kind of do.
Yeah.
Is to use that as my guideline. Strat had something. Did
I
Strat
do.
have something similar?
So no, it's not Strat themselves. I actually was just gonna, when you were done, tell ST. It's strathockey.net.
Okay.
He's tied into Strat, but not part of Strat.
Oh yeah, the fan site. Okay, yeah.
So if you go there and you get on strat/hockey.net. If you get
Okay.
on there, there's all tabs. If you hit seasons, there's all different seasons come up. He
Okay.
doesn't have line combinations for every season, but he has quite a few in the 80s.
Okay.
And that can like you might hit the Edmund. I know what I'm going to see if I can get one up
Yeah.
right now. Hold on.
Yeah.
Seasons will do the.
And I mean, it's not just 84. It's
No,
it's
no,
for,
I know.
it's
I
for
understand.
any season.
Yeah.
How would I
So
find them?
so
Yeah.
I just hit the 80s. So he's got 80, 81, and he's got suggested lines. 80, 82 suggested lines.
Okay. Okay.
81, 83. So throughout the 80s, he seems to have all of the suggested lines, and
Okay.
that'll help you. That'll definitely help you because
Okay.
it's tough.
Great.
Listen, me as a hockey fan,
Yeah.
listen, I didn't, I know I've watched some St. Louis Blues games,
Mhm.
but I don't know how their lines are. You asked me the Rangers lines in 91, 92, and 93, 94. I'm going to basically tell you the first three lines that they
Yeah.
had,
Yeah.
as a fan. So, and it's hard for me as a hockey fan, but the strathockey.net probably can give you the most you're going to find anywhere.
Okay. So as a novice, if I go to the APA site or I go to the Strat site and I see them in order, I can assume that the top should be line 1, next should be line 2. Now, I've heard you guys talk about this before and say, well, I would put the top guy here with line 2 or the top guy here with line 3 and then have combinations. As a novice, you don't suggest that at all. You think it would just be easier just to go 1, 2, 3.
I would like if you do the strathockey.net and you say you pick the 83, 84 season and you
Yeah.
pick the Oilers, it'll tell you Gretzky on line 1, centering
Okay.
for Anderson, and Messier on line 2, center. And as a novice, I would say stick with that.
Okay.
I'll liken it to. I'm going to liken it to your wrestling. I wouldn't know
Yeah.
who to tag team. I'm a novice.
Mhm.
I get it.
You could probably tell me, oh no, you got to put this guy with this guy.
Oh, okay.
So I would confuse myself. Don't confuse yourself. Try and go with that. And
Okay.
I'm always here. You can always reach out to me,
Yeah.
ST. I'll help
Okay.
you with
No,
the
okay.
hockey Blast. And that's my game. I love Hockey Blast.
Yeah.
With
Well, I
hockey-
wanted to answer these in public because I have a feeling I'm not
Yes.
the only one with the same concerns and the
No.
same questions.
Right.
So once I have the lines, I've got Al's Matt. So I'll need to be hit with the widescreen, Dave.
Oh, so you have the lines 1, line. Yes,
Hang on 1 second.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'm gonna-
I have that. I have that, Matt.
Now
Okay.
this is Al's Matt. This is not the play Matt.
No, right. I
Yeah.
download out. I had a mat made like that.
So you can see when we go to widescreen.
Right.
Yep. Hang on, I'm coming.
Lines 1, lines 2, lines 3, and lines 4. And defense 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. You can see the spots for all the cards.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
That is so you don't have to stack the cards and constantly
Yes.
shuffle and restack. You
Exactly.
can just move a pawn
Yeah.
down from line 1 to line 2 to line 3 to line 4.
Yes.
There are 4 lines, but for the defenseman, there are 3.
3.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
So Dave and I discussed this on the phone once, and I wish I would have recorded it. Because he was talking about rotations and the fact that you may not always want 1 against 1, 2 against 2.
Oh.
What is a good rotation for the ones that have 4 players, the ones that have 3 players, for the lines that have 4, the lines that have 3. And what is a rotation for team against team? If you're not going to do 2 against 2, then 3 against 3, then 4 against 4.
Well, again, I would suggest you starting out. So Hockey Blast, you rotate after every segment.
Right. That's correct.
I would stay with that until you learn the game.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Okay.
So what happens is once you learn the game, let's say you're Chicago Blackhawks, okay, and you're getting towards the end of the game, and they're up 4-1, 4-2.
Yeah.
Now you're going to want to listen. If let's say, and you're playing the Rangers, and I'm losing, okay, by
Yeah.
2-3 goals. I'm putting my best lines out to try and score. You're going to put your defensive lines out. So that's where you're going to learn
Yeah.
based on plays, the squares, those are your defensive players, all that.
Yeah.
But once
Yeah.
you learn all that, you could start strategizing. But I would just stick to a regular line rotation the way they tell you.
Well, what Dave was explaining before was easy and it sounded really good. He said something like, and tell me if I'm wrong, because odds are I am, but you said something like with the one with the 4 lines that you would even go like 1, 2, 3, back to 1 and go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'd go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, line 1's going to get most of your shifts, followed by line 2, then line 3, and line 4. They might. What do they play, like 6 minutes a night?
Yeah.
Which is, that's
So
10%
you'd want to
of the
skip a
game.
rotation, or would you skip like 2 rotations?
No, I think the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 would be pretty good. That would be a good way to do it. But like Joe said, when you're starting off learning a game, if you, like I say, if you were playing App or a Hockey Blast or even Strat,
Yeah,
I would suggest keep those 5 guys on the ice the entire game and just learn the game.
Yeah,
With
absolutely,
Hockey Blast,
absolutely.
though, with Hockey Blast though, where you can lay everybody on the table and the pegs are doing the lines,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
and that should get the guys out there more. And then maybe late in the game you put out line 1. If, like I say, if you're needing a goal, keep line 1 out there an extra shift. I think Hockey Blast allows you to double shift once or twice a period or something like that. The idea, ST, really is when it comes to playing your hockey lines, aside from knowing who's on what line, which can be an adventure in itself, is you just don't want to keep the best guys out there for half the game or more.
That's right. That's right.
Again, it's like just having David Ortiz hit 5 times in a row in baseball. You got to play everybody according to how much they played to get realistic results. So that's what I would suggest,
But at the beginning of each period, you were saying that you would go back to line 1
Yes.
to start the period.
Yes.
Yeah, most
Okay.
times that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, in a full play game, yes.
Where there are 3 lines on the defense, do you skip a rotation there as well? Do you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3?
You try to keep 1 with 1 and 2 with 2. And then when 4 goes out, you probably want line 1 defense with the line 4 offense.
It kind of
Okay.
works when you're rotating. It almost works that way most of the time.
Okay.
Again, you're not going to break the game if you go out of sequence. That's the thing. So if you go, offense 1, defense 1, and then offense 2, defense 2, then offense 3, defense 1, and skip 3, you're not breaking the game. The idea is you just don't want line 1 out there forever.
And
You don't want
Right.
Gretzky on the ice for 3/4 of the game.
in real hockey, they will rotate 5 to 6 defensemen consistently in real hockey. Where as the defenseman with forward lines, they might not rotate all forward lines, but
Okay.
the defensemen are more consistently rotated than the forward lines. Would you agree with that, Dave?
I think so, yeah. I mean, there's less defensemen, and your top guys
Right.
will play half the game,
Right.
Now, Dave Little has a question here. He says, in real hockey, how long does a typical shift last? Well, I think it depends on what season, Dave. Nowadays, shifts can be 20 seconds, and that's how fast they go. In fact, when I do the junior games, it's like they'll have a whistle 30 seconds into the game, and they're already changing lines. It's like we've only played 30 seconds. And back in the day, Phil Esposito used to say, after a minute, I'm just getting warmed up. And
Right.
nowadays,
Yeah,
they've already had
yeah.
2 line changes in that minute, and they're going like the son of a gun. I don't know how they get anything done in 30 seconds. I know
Right,
they're going like
right.
the speed of light, but I mean, yeah, that's what it is. So in gameplay, though, if you're on the tabletop, your lines, I think the hockey blasts are a minute shifts.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
and
they are.
hockey bones and Apper, I think, are closer to 2 minutes. And Strat, I forget what the Strat lines are.
Strat's the cards. So what Strat does is, if you remember, you have
40
the line
seconds?
change cards, and there's 30 cards in the whole period. And what they'll say is the second line changes 10 cards in, then 5 more cards is the defense. That's how they do it. So the way they do it is your first line is out there longest consistently, but it's supposed to average out.
Yeah.
You follow it? So
Yeah.
you're leaving it for 15 cards, and you're saying, "Wow, the first lines they've been out there almost there," but it's almost like changes were made, or, that you're not seeing.
And keep in mind too, ST, that when you're playing, especially the tabletop and the dice game, it's not like football where you run a play. In baseball, when you get the batter hitting, it's you're dealing with like chunks of time.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
and
Right.
so what you're not really looking for a sequential gameplay like you are with baseball or football. Okay, what you're looking for is at the end of the period, at the end of the game, did you get everybody their minutes in? Okay, because like even in Apple hockey, it's 2 minutes, so it's 30 seconds 3 times. Okay, that's 4 times rather. That's a 2 minutes. Realistically, guys aren't playing 2-minute shifts. Okay, but do you really want to be flipping cards every 30 seconds? So every time you roll the dice and the guy loses the puck,
Right.
do you want to change lines? And then it's an icing. Do you want to change lines? Do you want to change
Right.
lines?
Yeah.
59 times in a game.
Yeah.
No, you don't. So you say, okay, these guys are gonna play 12 to 15 minutes tonight. So they're gonna play 3 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 3 minutes here,
Yeah.
3 minutes there, 3 minutes there. They wouldn't normally play 3 minutes, but at the end of the game, you get your minutes in.
The end
So
of the game at times.
keep in
Well,
mind,
that's
you're
why
not
I like this
necessarily-
mat as well.
Yeah,
That's
the
why
mat is
I
good.
like this mat, because you're not constantly having to handle small cards and flip cards. You just move the pawn down
Right.
to the circle
or,
for each
or-
line.
or you can
Um,
get line trades also. If
Yeah.
you really get into it, you could do the. I use both. I use that mat and I use line trades. I use both.
What about the goalie? Like, when do you know how to at at what point do you pull? At what point do you start someone else? At what point is it like a pitcher in that respect, or is it not?
No.
No.
So he's in most of the time, no matter what,
He
or
plays most of the games, full
Okay.
games. It depends. So now, if he gives up 6 goals in the first period, I'm looking.
Yeah.
Did he give up 6 soft goals on 8 shots?
Yeah.
Or did he give
Yeah.
up 6 goals on 15
Okay.
shots and
Okay.
3 of them were power play goals?
Exactly.
So it's not
yeah,
like a
yeah,
pitcher.
Yeah.
A pitcher, a goalie's not getting tired per se, where a pitcher can get tired and say, I got to yank him now.
Depending on what season too, because nowadays you give up 2 or 3 goals and they're yanking you. Whereas, back in the 70s, it could be 10-2.
Yeah.
And they ain't taking you out. You're going to take all 10, and that happens quite a bit. So,
That's the layout.
Yeah.
that's what it's going to look
It's a great mat.
like.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
the goalie would be the one where you would want to go and figure out who the goalie was that night for that game, because if
Yeah.
not, he'll be in every game and he'll play all the games the whole year, which is not realistic either.
Yeah.
So he's really the only one that you would go, okay, I really do want to start the goalie who started the game, just to be somewhat historically accurate, so that he plays around the same amount of games.
Yeah, I do as played. I do that even with the forwards and everything. I'll look and see who's played in that game.
Yeah.
Hockey Reference is great for that. They'll tell you the 18 guys that started. Then you can make your lines from there. Once you learn how to make lines. So yes, for accuracy, yes.
If I didn't have the Strat site and I didn't have the Appa site and I had a page of Hockey Blast cards,
Okay.
how would I figure out who plays more than who, and how to put them in order of line and all that kind of thing?
It's a combination of, so you got your shot stars, okay, on the
Yes.
top.
Yes.
So you of course, good players are going to have most shot stars, okay.
Okay. Got
But
it.
you also got to take into consideration the qualities. The square, is it a defensive guy? The triangle, is
The
he a
speed, yeah.
scorer? The speed.
Yep.
So it's a combination of both.
Mhm.
Again, starting out new, what I would suggest to you starting out, take your best guys with shots, make them your top lines. The guys
Yeah.
with the best, make them your number one. Then once again, you start to learn the game, and you say, well, okay, I'm learning what the squares really need in this situation. Maybe I should
Okay.
move this guy to line number 2 because there's no defensive forwards on line. Because you need defensive players too on forward lines, that are not giving
Yeah.
up the puck.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but again, it's a learning. Don't
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up and get like too
Yeah.
intricate in it.
Right.
Just play it. I tell people
Yeah.
one of the biggest challenges, and I had the challenge in the beginning too with Hockey Blast was and I'm not the only one, was the penalties. The penalties can get a little
Yeah.
confusing because you can get a penalty on top. So you know what I did? My first 5-10 games, I didn't play with penalties. When I really got the game down pat, I says, okay, now I got to start adding the penalties.
Right. Right.
I
Good
taught
advice.
myself the game.
Good advice.
Right, because it's a matter of it confuses me how many guys are on the ice and how many are in penalty, and for how many minutes, and so what kind of a lineup am I? Yeah, that confuses me still
gonna
as
have-
well.
I'm gonna have to bring Hockey Blast to digital to dice, huh?
Yeah,
Yes,
that'd
yeah.
be pretty cool. Yeah,
So I'm gonna have
I'd like that.
to sit with both because I promised Paul Fay.
Yeah,
So that
I'll bring basketball. You bring hockey blast.
All right, because Paul asked me already. You're gonna bring Hockey Blast? I want to learn it.
Yeah,
So we'll do it.
that'd be
We'll
fun.
definitely do it. I can't make it to IndyCon. I would have loved to. I just can't.
Yeah, that's what I hear, Joe. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I really trust me. You know me.
All three of you yahoos are not coming, but that's okay. I'll still drive to Connecticut. Actually, I'm going to spend 3 days in the Catskills first.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I kind of wanted to. The history there is. I think it's important, and I want to see, even though most of it is torn down. I just want to say I've been to the Catskills. So
Nice.
yeah, that's I think those are the only questions I have. It's not, if you're kind of a novice like I am, it's not easy to figure out
No.
right
no,
off the
yeah,
bat, because you can't just go get lineups like
Right.
easily somewhere. So
I would suggest to go to either the strat-hockey.net or the APA and download some rosters there. Again, they're all free, and that'll give you a start. That's what I do when I go to play Hockey Blast, because part of the Hockey Blast setup that screws me up is that when you set it up, you can see the qualities, the shot stars, the defensive squares, the offensive circles, and when you're setting your lineups, as soon as you put it out, you see who's going to win the matchup.
Nah.
And it always kind of, because I'm playing against myself, and it's like, well, I set this lineup here. Well, these guys are always going to win that. So when I get the lineups, if I go to APA and I see the top lines, that's who's playing on my top line, and then the second line. So that way, I'm not gaming myself. I'm just going with what I see from APA.
You don't want to game the game ever. I'm so against gaming the game.
So that's what I do is I get those lines. The other thing you can do that I just thought of is if you go to Hockey Reference, right, and you find a game and you click on the box score, you can see who got the goals and assists.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Very good point, Dave.
So if it's Esposito from Busick and Hodge, chances are those three are on the first line. If it's McKenzie from Sanderson and Westfall, then maybe those three guys played together. And if you see it consistently through the night,
that makes sense.
These two guys definitely played together because, Gretzky from Curry, 6 times that happened. So chances are Gretzky's playing with Curry. So that solves a couple of guys anyway.
Yeah, I see Mark in the
So-
chat right now. Mark has shown me Hockey Blast twice in Colorado, and I am embarrassed to say I understand the game because he was a great teacher. Like he's phenomenal at showing Hockey Blast. I didn't understand the lines, so
No.
it's just the historical aspect of
Mhm.
it I didn't understand. But because of Mark, I was able to learn Hockey Blast, which is a sport that I don't really know well, in like an hour. He was a great teacher. So, Mark, thank you very much.
You also, and then you had mentioned the goalies before. When you want to
Yeah, yeah,
start a goalie, also, even if you don't look up hockey reference,
yeah.
it's play stars. Most of the shots are against play stars in the game.
Mm,
Your shot
okay,
stars are your rebound shots. So
okay.
those are the two. The play stars is yes. So you play star. So like say Crawford. Like
Mhm.
I'd probably start Crawford over Ranta
Yeah,
because
he's
he's
got
got more
more.
play. The shot save is for rebounds and spectacular save. You can go a whole game without getting a spectacular save, or sometimes four of them could come up in a game. Depends on your role. And also what I love about Hockey Blast, and in the
Yeah.
beginning, I would see like a special like 81, 82 season. The goalies had like one or two play stars, and you're like, they're going to score on them all game. No, but because the shooter has to come in range too. And then all of a
Mhm.
sudden a rebound comes and he's got 5 stars on his rebound.
Yeah.
So he might have, so they don't get deceived by that either.
Mm, okay.
But don't dig into it too much.
Yeah,
Just
don't
Yeah.
fret.
play it. Just play it.
I would
Just play it.
suggest just
Yeah,
quick
absolutely. Yeah.
one
No, I get
versus
what you're
one, two
saying.
versus two, do without. Now, one thing I do when I first started playing Apper, before I had the helper on the computer there, was I did the 4-3-2-1 method.
Mm.
Okay, so it was actually on a Word document. It had raffle tickets, is what it was, and there were 10 raffle tickets. And I went and I changed the text on these raffle tickets, and I put line 1, and I made 4 line 1s, and then I made 3 line 3s, and then 2 line 3s. So it was 4-3-2-1 in reverse order. Okay, so 4-3, 4 1s, 3
Yeah.
2s, 2 3s, and 1
Got it.
4. So that
Got
got
it.
you 10. And I
Got
would
it.
shuffle those raffle tickets, and I put them down, and I flipped. And whatever I flipped, that's who would come out for offense. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what's going to happen is 4 out of the 10 shifts are going to be line 1. 3 out of the shifts will be line 2, and then again, line 4 gets 1 shift a period, and that works out about right. So
Mhm.
so that's one thing that I did. So it wasn't always
That's
1
a
1
good
2
idea.
2 3 3. Now the only problem is that a lot of times it is 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3. But for a whole game, that gets so boring. It
So
does.
you would draw it for each team.
Yes.
So how did you say? So those are the 4 lines, but how did you do the 3 lines on defense?
I think I did 5-3-2.
Okay.
So line 1 got 5 tickets.
Okay.
Line 2 got 3 tickets, and then line 3 got 2 tickets. Is kind of how I did it.
Okay.
And so I had 2 different sets so I had a set for each offense and a set for each
Mhm.
defense. And now some seasons, depending how far back you go, in the 70s, they only had 3 sets of offense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
original 6, you had
Yeah.
3. You only had 3 forward lines and 2 defensive lines in the original 6 seasons. And then in mid
You
70s,
could probably use cards for that, right? You could probably use a stack of cards and do like the reds are like the 4 lines or something, and do 4s, then 3, then 2 and 1,
Yeah, any kind of
and do the
combination you
blacks
want.
on
Yeah.
defense or something.
what I do also when I play, I'll rotate the lines evenly in the first period.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and
Yeah.
then 1, 2, 3. And the second period, I may skip like 2 times on the fourth line.
Okay.
And then in the third period, the fourth line only gets 1 shot, depending
Okay.
on what the score of the game is, but in general. So I'll do that sometimes also. But Hockey Blast does give you, they give you options to skip lines. There's little boxes. I don't use their score sheet, but I know on
Yeah.
their score
Yeah.
sheet, there's little boxes. You could skip a line. You could mark. You know who's great to watch? Gitch, Rob Gallimore.
Yeah, Rob's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
We talk a lot, but before that, his videos taught me so much of Hockey Blast, Hockey Blast Express. I think his videos are tremendous.
Yeah,
With your
agreed.
Matt, right now you're better off than having the line change trays, because if
Yeah.
you start playing penalties with the line trains, that could get confusing. Because now,
Yeah,
with the way it's laid out on the mat, see, when I play my league, I'm in a league, I lay it out on the mat, because if you're in the league, you're sending me what your power play team is. If I'm in the line trays, I got to take it apart. So I lay it out, and then I have red things. And if you get a
Yeah.
power play, I put the red on all. It could be from 4 different lines each player.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
mat is great. I actually had 2 of them made, one for here, one for my Florida house. I'm a
Okay.
crazy guy.
Yeah,
I love hockey. I love it.
I love Hockey Blast. I think
Oh.
Mark we spent 30 minutes or so in the lobby in Colorado once, and then he showed me in the conference room. And again, I can't say enough. He's a great Hockey Blast instructor for sure. He was fantastic. I just am not sure I ever understood just line order. Now, would you, when you're playing team versus team, like you always are, would you still go 1 against 1, 2 against 2, 3 against 3?
I do, and then as the game, I try to coach fair. Like it's like if you like doing baseball. If you're playing
Yeah.
baseball, I try to
Yeah.
coach fairly on each team. So I'll start out like that, 1 against 1, 2 against 2. Maybe the whole first period, it's a tight game. I
Yeah.
leave it like that. Okay.
Okay.
But if one team starts to pull away, now the team that's pulling away, I might put line 3, who's got 3 good defensive forwards, up against their line 1. So then it starts
Oh.
to become the game situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
But
Yeah,
like I
that's a
said,
lot.
I wouldn't jump into that now. It's like I
Yeah.
know. No, I would just do the 1-1-2 and just rotate.
No, I got you.
ST, I'm not a basketball guy. Okay.
Well, I'm going to teach you.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. I'm not when I was young, I used to like the Knicks.
Yeah.
But today's basketball, no part of it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know the new things
Yeah.
about basketball unless I sat down with you and you said, "No, Joe, you got to do it this way,
Yeah.
this way." So it works both ways.
I'll say,
Let me show you this ST real quick.
yeah, no, yeah, go ahead, please.
All right, so I don't know if you can see this at all.
Wow.
Can you see that?
That's
Maybe I-
Appa. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay. Is that any better?
Yeah.
Okay. So what this is this is the roster sheet for 83-84. And you
Oh,
can
great.
see, so we'll start with Boston on the left. It's got some things at the top that are Apple related you don't got to worry about. But you see how it's at the left wing, center, and the right wing?
Yes.
Krushelnytsky, Peterson, Middleton.
Yes.
That's most likely going to be their top line.
Okay.
That's line 1. And then Marquardt, Ferguson, Keith Crowder, line 2.
Okay.
Neil, McTavish, O'Reilly, 3. Gillis, Casper, Crowder, 4. And then everybody below that were the guys that filled in during the year.
Yeah.
They were either fighters or they were just 3rd or 4th line guys. And the same on the defense. You see, you have left defense, Bork, and right defense, O'Connell. That's going to be line 1. Kluzak, Milbury, line 2.
Okay.
And then the rest can be in there for line 3. You would never go more than 6 defense in a game. Is what it is, and then you get your goalies, Peters, Keens, and Moffat. Those in
Correct.
order.
The extra guys, would you cycle them in to line 4 like every other game or something, or every 3rd game or something?
I would just go to Hockey Reference and see
Yeah,
the 18 starters.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
And just see who the 18 guys who started, and those are the guys you play, and then make
Okay.
your lines.
So,
Okay.
but like
That's
say,
fair.
Appa and even Strat, if you get the other stuff there, it's like this is the roster, and these are the guys in order, and that's what I go by.
That's
And,
fair.
And if someone's not playing, then I slide up the stack. So
Yeah,
line 2 slides up, and everyone moves up to like next man up type of thing.
Yeah.
But again, the thing is, just have fun with it. Don't get so concerned. I get so concerned with it sometimes it wrecks the game.
I can't imagine that, Dave.
Seriously, I want to get it right. And sometimes I'll play a game and, P-Jet will come on and say, Mackenzie never played with Westfall. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
that. I just play in the
Well,
game.
Well,
Ay,
sometimes
yikes.
I'll go off Hockey Reference, and there's only 5 defensemen.
I
So what
I want
happens
to,
is
Yeah.
I'll rotate one of the defensemen from one of the defensemen from two. So I
yeah.
rotate that 6
Yeah,
guy.
that's tough when it's 5D.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that
yeah.
that makes it screwy.
But we're gonna screw up
Yeah.
ST's head. Let's not screw
I
his
know.
head up.
Yeah.
For everyone in the chat room who's a hockey expert and has spent the last half an hour going, God, this is so basic. Jesus.
No,
It's
I
not basic, though.
apologize.
No, it's
nah,
not.
I
nah,
just
not,
don't know the sport enough.
No,
not.
it's
That's
not
on
basic.
me.
Not with cards and dice. It's not basic because there's
Yeah.
so many things to consider and to try to make it work. And
You know,
and-
people have people have asked us what ST's saying, and they'll say to me, Joe, what do you think of 49 Quick Decks, the full version?
Yeah.
And the first thing
yeah.
I tell them, I'll say, "Are you a hockey fan?"
yeah,
And if
yeah.
they say, casual, I'll watch a game once in a while,
Yeah.
and I'll tell them, start out with the highlight. If you like the
Yeah.
highlight, then because it's it's for hockey. To
Yeah.
me, right, Dave? It's
Yeah.
for a real
Yeah.
hockey fan because there's
Yeah.
corner battles. Same thing with APA, corner battles,
Yikes.
things like that. So with Hockey Blast, it's you don't miss. How can I say it? You don't feel like you're missing anything from a real hockey fan, as a hockey fan from a real hockey game,
Yeah.
but it flows nice and easy. It doesn't make you crazy
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a
Yeah.
fun game.
Fantastic.
It'll get you your hockey stats. It'll
Yes.
get you
Yes.
there. It just
I
does
love
it. It does it differently than a lot of the other games.
I love
And
Yeah.
you don't get like with the Hockey Bones and the Strat and the Appa. Those are the 3 that I play.
Mhm.
And even inside the crease, you see that you kind of see the plays setting up. Who
Mhm.
gets the puck, who loses the puck. Who took a lot of the shots on net. Hockey Blast, it's kind of like shootout where it's like, okay, let's stop and check this here. We're going to freeze the game at this point, and we're going to check the action, and let's see if anybody gets a chance to get a shot on net.
One of the things I think was genius as a hockey fan with Keith.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people when they first played hockey, they say, "Oh, these lulls." I think it's genius, the lulls, because what I see happen sometimes, I play it so much, visitor will score, home team will score, then all of a sudden you roll a 7, you get a lull,
Yeah.
and there's 3 shots on goal for each team. So in real hockey, sometimes, right, Dave, a team will score, the other team, and then all of a sudden they'll go end to end for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Another-
Right.
So
Right.
I think it was brilliant the way he built that into the game.
Yeah, it's a nice way of saying nothing worth of note is happening here.
Right.
Right.
It's just
if you
end to end
play-
hockey, right?
Yeah, when you play, like I say, the 49 Quick Decks hockey or Apple or any of the other games I mentioned there, you see
Yes.
all that nothing happening. And some
Yes.
people don't like that. And so I like it because it's hockey. So it's like,
Right.
I want to see this guy turn it
right.
over. Every time this guy gets the puck, he turns it over. This guy's iced it 3 times. Or you see how they had control. No, now they got control. Now this team takes like 5 shots in a row and they don't score. You don't get a lot of that with the hockey.
you have to have
Even the shootout, you
you
don't
have to have a
either.
narrative in your head with the balls.
Yeah,
As
but
a
if you,
hockey fan, you get that narrative in your head. Oh, they went end to end. They were checking for these 3 minutes.
Well, I mean, I find that how much minutia we want in a game is commensurate with how well we know the sport.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
and
no
how
question.
much we love the sport
Yes.
because of the minutia. That may not be for everyone, but
So true.
I mean, when I watch somebody who doesn't know basketball well play basketball and say, "Oh, the positions," I'm like, the positions. I mean, come on. But I get it because I've got that with hockey. Like I totally get it. Like I understand it. So it's upon us as game designers to try to design a game for the entire spectrum of gamer. And what I did in matchup as well, as you know, Joe, I want to put a lot into the game.
Oh, you did.
I want it to look complex, but I want it to be simple to play. like simple to play. And I think it's really easy to play, which makes me happy because I know how many stats are actually going into each page, each team. But if I can't make that easy for the gamer, no one's going to play. Like there is an argument against too complex
Mhm.
as a mechanic. And there are certain games out there, and we will not say what games they are
No.
for obvious reasons, that I feel like I'm bouncing between one card back to the other, batter back to the pitcher, back to the batter,
Mhm.
back to the pitcher, up to the stadium card, back to the batter to find out it's a pop out.
Yeah. No.
And
You
I'm
get
like, I just spent 10 minutes to find out it's a pop out. Like,
It's
I
so
I
true.
need something easier than that.
On that point, that gets, you know what, that gets me crazy on a rare play. When all of a sudden you're going to
Yeah.
14 shots and looking at that, and all of a sudden he struck out.
Yeah.
I needed to, but with matchup college football,
Yeah.
your rare
Yeah.
plays are rare plays. They're legitimate rare. Like I
Yeah.
get excited if I get a rare play in matchup
Team
college.
dependent. I
Yes.
try to,
Yes.
for everyone out there that might not know, every team has their own rare play chart.
Yes.
And I almost didn't even want to call it a rare play chart because it's more of a rare player chart. So if you didn't qualify with 5% of the rushes, of the catches to be on the finder,
hmm
you pretty much go back to the rare plays chart. But that also allows me space to put, if there were any bizarre plays from that year, to
hmm
put it on the rare play chart for that team. So it allows me to sort of get the personality of the team.
Oh,
And sometimes the stats don't translate
translate.
to the ratings. And so a team might need to be a little better or a little worse. And so you can adjust that by how you formulate the rare play chart.
So perfect example. You made me think of it. Tim Tebow.
Ah,
When you
Tebow.
that when that if I now I'm not quoting it, I'll paraphrase it, but I know it's something like if they lose the game and Tim Tebow gave them such a rah-rah speech that they come out with an extra PowerPoint.
That is true.
That was Tim Tebow. I was
Yeah.
like, this
There
guy
is,
really did it.
yeah.
He did
08
it so much.
Florida has a rare play where if you roll it, you come out with 2 power plays, I believe, in
You
the
may be
next
right.
game.
Right.
So it carries over to
Right.
the next game because he gave the rah-rah speech like he did after they lost to Ole Miss, right?
Yes. He said it'll
He
never
gave
happen
the speech
again.
and said, "This will not happen again. We
Yep.
will not lose again. We will," and he didn't.
Went out and won the net. They
Yeah.
ran the table.
And so we're able to put that in the rare plays where if you just had a rare play chart for the game as a whole, you wouldn't be able to do that. So that's why I wanted to do that. Yeah. So it's kind of neat in that respect.
Can I throw just in defense of the boring rare plays? Like Joe said, it's not the worst, and going through all the stuff, like, and it's a ball or a strike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not boring, but it's a long process.
It
Is a
is.
complaint.
Sometimes it can, because I know that the Appa Master has the rare plays, and sometimes you go through all that and it's a ball. And even Appa Hockey, if you use the rare plays, it's like, it's a shot on goal or an offside. I think what they're doing there is that you get the rare play to come up, and then it's not really a rare play. I think that kind of offsets too many rare plays.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the goal of that. So you're right.
Yeah.
A ball is, or just a regular shot on goal or an icing, that's not really a rare play. But if you roll rare play and you
That's
get
right.
rare plays too much, so it kind of like, okay, I look at that as a potential rare play.
Yeah.
And then you go and then you roll the dice, look at the chart. It's like, okay, it's not a rare play, So let's make the rare plays rare. And I think that's kind of how they have to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't want a game to sort of turn into the wacky world of sports.
No.
Like And I don't think I have a game that does that with rare plays. I think the creators, for the most part, are very conscientious
Yes.
about that. For the most part, I mean, that there are things that are just, you know, there are things that happen when you roll dice that just happen. You might roll 5 rare plays in one game, and they might all be wacky.
Hmm.
I don't think that's the fault of the designer necessarily.
Oh, the
It's
dice dictate sometimes.
it's
Right.
just what you're rolling that
Yeah.
night, and then you might not have one for 3 weeks. I mean, it's tough. It's a
Yeah.
big responsibility
Yeah.
for sure.
If
I
I could,
like. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Joe. Go
No,
ahead.
I was saying, I enjoy payoff pitches, rare plays,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
roll that double zero. It's very hard to roll that double
Yes. Yeah.
zero,
Yeah.
and when you get it, you get a real rare play.
Yeah.
Went through the left
Season
fielder's
ticket
legs.
baseball.
Yes,
perfect
Same thing.
yes,
example.
Both
exactly.
of those
Clay also.
games,
Yeah,
Yes,
awesome
yes,
rare plays.
yes.
Sometimes it's just like
yeah,
a bobbly play and the guy's out, but the runner advances, or the it makes sense.
yep,
Sometimes they're like rare plays. How did Clay say it? Uncommon plays and
yeah,
rare
Mhm.
yeah,
plays. So
Mhm.
you get both of it. I do like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
That's my guy.
circling back, ST, to the hockey, when you were talking about,
Yeah,
I want to get the hockey right. I'm kind of the same way with Appa football. And what I do with Appa football is, I go to Football Reference and I'll play that game. I get my starting defense, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's it. No one else that's carded plays, and I don't know
Mhm.
where Some Roads is, but he's going to laugh. They go back into the Appa envelope, all the other guys,
Right,
that's the joke, the
right.
Appa envelope. You never want to be in the Apple envelope. You want to be on the table. But with Appa football, I take 11 guys and that's it. Those are
Mhm.
my 11 guys. They play the entire game because I don't really need them all that much.
Right.
So I don't know when to go to a second or third string guy unless someone gets injured and that's happens
Or
to
you
be the
know the
role.
team. Or you
Yeah.
know
Or
the
you know the
team.
team. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But what
Mhm.
I do is I look
Mhm.
at the starting lineup. That's my lineup for Appa football defense. And some people get crazy because when they play Appa, especially head to head, it's like, okay, I'm bringing in an extra receiver, so my offense rating goes up. Well, if you bring in an extra DB, well, your passing goes up, but your running goes down. And there's that cat and mouse game. I don't want to do that on every play, especially when I'm playing alone.
Yeah,
I just want to play
yeah,
the game. So what I do is I take that 11, not knowing much about that team, or I don't even know anything about defenses really. I just roll that 11 the entire game, and that's my deep. Now the offense, I like to put in guys that had touches, whether it's a catch or a run or somebody's throwing it at you.
Mhm.
Um, and so they'll get stuff, and sometimes I'll go so deep with football is someone's like didn't get any stats, like a running back or something or a
Mhm.
tight end, and I'll look and it's like, no, they played all 16 games, so I'll put them in. Maybe throw
Yeah,
to him once, give him a
yeah,
carry
Right.
yeah,
here.
Right.
Just so I put in a lot more offensive guys, but just kind of getting back to, what do I do with the hockey lines? It's with the Apple football. I just the starting 11 and that's it. And
understood.
I'm not playing injuries. And again, that's my thing about playing football is how do I know? Like when I play second season, how do I know when to check someone that's
Mhm.
not a starter? I don't know. I was actually going to kind of roll dice and say, okay, 1 to 15 is the top guy, and 16 to 20 is the second string, because maybe because you don't play the whole game. I get it. I don't know when they come in and out, and your game's great for that because it'll tell you.
Mhm.
You're going to check
Yeah,
linebacker 3, linebacker 4.
yeah,
Mhm.
And
yeah,
that was genius. So that
Genius.
takes it off of my
Genius.
shoulders. Yeah, now I don't got to think about that. But when I'm playing a game that doesn't do that, um, I don't sweat it out. I go with those guys, and
Mm.
and some people are like, oh well, you should change it, and because that changes the defense every time you do that. I'm like, something? It's a lot of work. I don't really know if I'm getting much out of that. I mean,
yeah,
that tiny change, is that really going to change something? Is it going to take me out of the A offense? Is it going to put me into the B index,
yeah.
whatever it is? So I go with that gut, and you know something? I have a blast with it. I have so much fun with it.
No,
And
you're right. And the challenge, it became a challenge at first because I recognized that, like you, one, in a football game, it's not always easy to make the subs. like you said, in APA, when you make a sub, if you just made one sub and brought in an extra linebacker, took out a defensive lineman, you've got to recalculate the whole
Yes.
defense.
Yes.
Like it's a process.
Yeah.
It's not a hard process. It's just adding, but it's a process. Why spend an extra 5 minutes every few plays? I mean, the game would be 8 hours. I mean,
Right,
you don't want to do
right.
that. But also, I wanted to try to resolve the fact that it's really unrealistic to not make subs.
Yes.
Especially in football, where some of the backups play more snaps than the starters. And so to not play a backup at all when he's leading the team in snaps, it just didn't work for me. And that's more the case in college where the backups play a lot more. I think, for example, Georgia last year, the two defensive players who played the most snaps were both backups and didn't start a game. So to be more realistic, but then I had to ask myself, what would be more realistic yet still be easy? Because it needs to be easy to play. And I said, well, why don't we just put all of them in order, of their tackle status? So for all the linemen, you'll have L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6.
Mhm.
For linebackers, you'll have LB1, LB2, LB3. And for the defensive backs, you'll have DB1, 2, 3, 4. And then you'll just call upon them by that designation.
You-
And for tackles, you call on them by that designation if you want to keep tackles. And therefore, you as a gamer don't ever have to worry about,
You built it
oh,
in.
I need to make subs, I need to
Right, you built it in.
recalculate, I need to do anything like that. And we're doing the same thing in basketball. And a few of my game testers were all like, I don't know if I want to do it in basketball because I like making the subs and I'm used to making the subs and I make subs in basketball more than football. I don't know how it would look to not have to make subs that everyone is just called upon automatically. I think all three of those guys now are like, yeah, this works. This
Really?
works.
Really?
When you get used to it.
Mhm.
It works.
It works in matchup football.
Yeah, and everyone still gets the amount of time
Mhm.
that they're supposed to get, which is the key. And so you don't really have to worry about, oh, this guy needs to be out for 3 minutes. So I need to watch the clock and I need to watch this guy and make sure, or he needs to be out for 2, or he needs to be out. Another thing that we're also going to do is, and I don't mind this, so this is not a bad mechanic, it's a good mechanic, but we're going to use things that we call ticks for the timing. So every fat card is worth so many ticks, or every team chart is worth so many ticks, 0, 1, or 2, or 3 or 4 if you play slowly. Or if you're a low scoring team, it'll be higher because you'll use more time. If you're a faster, higher scoring team, the ticks will be lower so that you don't use as much time. But I sometimes I have a hard time with basketball games figuring out when I'm supposed to turn the card, which is problematic because the cards are the clock.
Mm.
So like you might have a certain amount of cards in the stack that are acting as the clock. Well, if I don't turn the cards the right way, I'm sort of not doing the clock the right way. Or if I turn the cards too much, or if I don't turn the cards enough, I'm really horsing around with the clock. And so in this game, you can grab whatever stack of cards that you want to grab for facts, turn the cards as much as you want because the timing isn't tied to the size of your card stack. It's tied to the actual time that the team either plays fast and they're higher scoring or they play really slow and they're lower scoring. So thank you, Rowdy. So I'm more than happy to answer anything that you guys or that the chat room would like to ask about basketball. I want to answer these first. When and at what point am I going to have out 1982 or 1996 or 1980? They're all going to be out at some point. So I can't really answer that. They will all be out. How long is the game going to take to play? For a pro game with full stats, when you know how to play, and that's very important. I want to underline that. when you know how to play, about an hour and 20 minutes.
Not bad.
A college game with full stats, when you know how to play, an hour. I definitely wanted to design a game that you would be able to play a full play, inclusive basketball game that you would be able to play in an hour for college. And you will be able to play this in an hour for college. What are you going to need to buy? There's no mat really, because you don't really need one. There will be the team sets, and there will be hopefully one fact deck. The fact deck is going to be pretty large, so it's not going to be cheap necessarily, but there won't be like 3 fact decks. So other than the team sets will have every NBA team for that season. And in college, we're going to do 30 teams from one season. So like you'll see like 1985 Volume 1, and it'll be 30 teams from 1985. But what that allows us to do is to come back at some point and do 1985 Volume 2 or 1985 Volume 3.
Kind of the same map as matchup football with the college.
No, because in matchup college football, the teams are usually not from the same year.
Okay. I see what you're saying now.
So
it's all
we
gonna be
we
from the
are going to
same-
stick with the same years.
Okay. I got you.
And having more teams is going to allow us to do, for example, if there's a season where the conference really matters, we're going to be able to throw the whole conference in there. In 1979, for example, we're basically going to be able to do like Larry Bird's whole schedule and then to do Magic's whole schedule. So you'll be able to replay their entire run for the entire season. So
Wow.
there's a lot of cool things that we're going to be able to do as well. But if you guys want to ask anything at all, or anybody in the chat room, I will try to answer as much as I can. But every year for college is going to come out, and every year for NBA is going to come out eventually. So just to answer that question right off the bat.
ABA?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, nice. I want to go back to when we were talking about the substitutions being either manual or automatic. When I first got bank shot basketball, I bought it because I liked the fact that you could put everybody on the table and the game would call up the bench guys from time to time. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like the matchup football, it would call up certain guys here. Okay.
Yeah.
After playing it that way, maybe because I was learning the game and I was really kind of confused.
Yeah.
Once I went to the 5-on-5
Mhm.
and manually subbed, I found that to be, as someone who knows nothing about basketball, I don't know a point guard from right guard. Okay, I really don't. Sorry, I don't. I enjoyed the substitution.
Yeah.
It became a mini game because it was like, okay, Daryl Dawkins has got 3 fouls here. I'm in the second quarter. Man, I need to sit him down. Or Kareem has got 4 fouls in the third. And, geez, how do I keep playing him? And then you start becoming the coach.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun. It's like, so I'm going to put in the backup. It's like, how long can I go in the backup before I need to bring the guy back in? And we need to start scoring
Understood.
points. And I found that that's the way I preferred to play bank
No,
shot basketball.
understood, and it's not wrong. Like,
so
there are so many good basketball games out now, but I've always had this idea of this one kind of game that just wasn't being made, so I made it. But I love and am a fan of, everybody knows I love bank shot basketball. I love HMH primetime. I love these games. So this is not a knock against anyone else. But like matchup, every team is on a team sheet, and the team has its own charts at the bottom of the sheet. So if you're doing a shooting chart, if you're doing a 3-point shot, if you're doing a chart for their defense, a take a shot chart, what you have to be able to do is you're going to roll, between 2 and 12, and the players are named. So if you roll that person, you kind of have to assume he's in the game. So you can't just do subs necessarily the same way if you're going to have individual team charts. Because you can't necessarily take guys off the chart and bring guys back on the chart dependent upon who's in the game or who's not. It really does work. It's so hard to explain
Now,
why it works.
can you do an as played? So let's just say you're going to go point guard 2. Well, okay, point guard 2 obviously is not the starter, let's say, but instead of being Jamal Wilkes, it was Jamal Wilkes didn't play that game. So the next man up was
Yeah.
point guard 2.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you're going to have the score sheet is going to have 12 spots on it.
Okay.
And so you're going to write in the lineup for that night. And that's very important. That's a very important choice that you make in the game.
Okay.
So you can play whoever you don't want to play. And then at the bottom of every fact card is a reallocation. And it'll say like point/shots. It'll say rebound/blocks. It'll say assists/steals. And it'll say fouls. And then it will give you a position of, let's just say Jamal Wilkes is not in the game. And you roll on a chart and there's Jamal Wilkes is going to take the shot. You would just look at the next fact card for points and shots and it'll say PG1. So rather than Jamal Wilkes, it's the point guard who takes that shot.
Okay.
So you can sit guys out, or you can even have an out column where you can roll to see who's in the game, but you can also do as played. Yes.
Now, in a situation where you have a team that might only have 8 or 9 players, is that possible? And what happens if you roll for a 10th or 11th guy that's not in the game?
You reallocate at the bottom of the next fact card. You reallocate it. So you can have 8 or 9 guys. There'll be some reallocation happening. You just draw the next fact and reallocate it to that spot.
Okay.
So it still spreads the wealth. It still spreads the action around. But yeah, you can play as played. You can play an exact schedule. Eventually, you'll be able to, if you want to decide your own lineup, you can do that. If you want to roll for who's out just to completely randomize it, you can do that as well.
Nice.
It's really, it's so hard for me to explain everything without seeing it. When it comes out, I will do a few videos. I'll be on here as well. I'll be at both conferences for anybody who's going to be there. I'm more than happy to show everything. I have a way of making things sound more complicated than they actually are. I apologize for that. Not intentional, because it's a simple game to play. Like all the play testers would tell you, it's a simple game to play, but there's a lot there.
Okay, nice. Joe, do you play any basketball?
I'm not hearing Joe.
You hear me now?
Yeah, there you are.
I just can't get into playing basketball. I played a little bit of like I played some what's his name's game, John's, Turnbull's, because I saw he had like the season that the Knicks. I remember as a kid going to Knicks games with my grandfather a lot.
That's a fun game. It's a fast play game. Yeah.
So I played somebody old. I just can't get into new basketball. I just can't. I don't know if it's because I'm a kind of a guy. I like defensive. I like 2-1 hockey games, 2-1 baseball games.
So all the basketball scoring.
Don't get me wrong. Like when the playoffs come and stuff, I'll watch the second half. I just can't sit through a whole basketball game. It's just too offensive for me. And it's not a bad thing, It's just not my thing.
I was the same way. The only game I can really play, the two basketball game. Well, baseline I play because it's a fast play game. I do like the bank shot. That's a long
Yeah,
game,
it's a great game.
but it just works, and I like
Mm.
seeing the guys miss the shots and the guys put in the rebounds, whatever. That it does work, especially if you play a season that you like. I have a lot of the '80s I like. The other one I do like is the player of the game from Downey, which
Mm.
is more of a rolling dice Yahtzee type of game where excuse me, where you do some ratings and you do some quick math and to figure out how many dice you're rolling for this guy. Like the top guy's going to roll 8 or 9 dice, the bottom guys might roll 1, and you see how many points they get, then you add them all up at the end. I thought that was kind of fun. And I didn't need to know the thing about bank shot and the thing about player of the game and the thing about baseline. I don't need to know anything about basketball.
Right.
And that's what makes it work for me, because when I play other games and I'm just like, well, I don't know who this guy is, and I don't know what this position is and how this works. And I was all kinds of confused. In fact, even when I did one of the ABA co-op games using bank shot, and I went into Action PC and I have that season and I set it up, and I was getting screwed up because when I looked at the actual lineup for the game, and then I went to Action PC, it was saying, "Are you sure you want to put this guy in this spot because he's not rated for this spot?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have no idea that this is my starting lineup.
Well,
I don't know what to do. I know I don't know who's playing what position, but these are my 5 starters according to Basketball Reference, and I put them in Action PC, and it didn't like what I put in.
we can't underestimate the fact that sometimes a coach makes a bad choice in pro sports, in college sports. And some things don't work. I should have also said that unlike matchup, there will be a quick play option.
Oh wow.
So if you just want to roll a score, you'll be able to do that. If you want to roll a score and a full box score, you'll be able to roll out points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, turnovers, and fouls. All the stats for the entire box score, you'll be able to roll out pretty quickly. If you want to play in hybrid mode, let's just say you play full play, you go to halftime and it's a blowout and you don't want to play the remainder of the game. You can fast play the last half and still get all the stats and still roll for the stats for the entire game.
Wow.
So you'll be able to do those things as well. So if you want to do a tournament, but you only want to play one team, you can full play the one team, fast play everybody else, and still do the stats. If you decide I want to fast play it, but I want to get the team scores, but I only want points for all the players, you can just only have points for all the players. Like you can choose what you want. You
Nice.
can choose what stats, how many stats, how few stats, and the quick play game like Downey, but a little more complex. You can get a final score in 2 minutes. And then the stats take 20 minutes or so if you roll all of them. But you don't have to roll any of them. But I did that because I wanted to be able to keep stats for the entire season. So even if I fast play a game, I still want to be able to roll a box score.
Yeah.
The unique thing about doing that is that we'll also have an Excel spreadsheet on our Facebook page and the Delphi page. And what you'll be able to do is, let's say, again, Jamal Wilkes, you can go in there and type in Jamal Wilkes scored 28 points. And it will give you his shot lines. It'll say 28 points. He was 8 for 12. He was 3 for 5 at the free throw line.
Yeah.
He was 0 for 0 from 3. You'll be able to get the entire shooting line as well.
No.
So you'll be able to truly get a full box score from a fast play game down to the shooting lines, which you normally don't get even when you can roll stats. So you can truly feel like you played an entire game. And it randomizes it a little bit. So if Jamal Wilkes scores 28 points, his line is not going to be the same line each game. Like, there'll be nights where he shoots well, there'll be nights when he shoots poorly, but he still scores that many points. So you'll be able to type in all the points for everyone down the roster, and then hit the button, and all the lines will pop up.
So is it one of these situations where you roll first for the final score, then allocate the points?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so it's reverse for play, because player of the game from Downey, you allocate the individual points and then total them.
Right.
So you get the final score first, and then you get the breakdown.
Reverse, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of neat, because if you just want the final score,
yeah,
you don't got to go through.
You can do the final score by itself.
Yeah,
absolutely. In like 2 minutes.
Nice.
Max. You can do the final score, but you can do any stat you want as well, or no stats at all. I don't think there's a stat that we would keep that you can't do in that version of the game. The quick play charts are also going to be in every team set as well at the end. So they aren't split up. You don't have to buy two. It's all going to be in one packet for that set.
So you can get a final score of an NBA basketball game in the time it takes the Waffle House to bring you some home fries.
Oh.
Well, my friend, so I must tell you that I've been watching from the shadows as you continuously disparage and bemoan and cast aspersions upon the fine dining eatery of the Heartland. And I will say, I'm none too happy about it.
I didn't say. I just said in the time it takes to get hash browns, I can play a game. I didn't say the hash browns were bad. I didn't say I was going to get in a fight. I didn't say someone's going to throw bacon at me. Okay, I didn't. I didn't say any of that. Right?
I've heard your jokes, Gardner, and I'm paying attention. And I have a pen. I'm writing these down.
Stop paying attention. I tell my wife.
I marked them on the calendar. A red mark for Gardner.
Take it from where it comes. It's a guy who loves pineapple pizza.
I know. I do.
End of story.
I do. The Tim asks, are there team rebounds in the game? Some games have an individual get every rebound. That bugs me. Sometimes the shot goes out of bounds.
For example, on a block shot, if the block goes out of bounds, it's a team rebound. Right. Yes.
Yep. Ben wants the Waffle House there, and Ray says he's been into a few brawls at the Waffle House himself. Yeah.
Well, Ray, I mean, he's a hockey guy. He's a brawler.
Ray, you got to go to bed. You got to pick me up in 7 hours.
Yeah, I know. I know, right? So let me ask you this: getting back to the wrestling game, what?
No, I got to stop you, Dave. Just before we get there, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be rude, but while we're still, I got to throw a little curve here, and I might be putting you on the spot, ST.
Okay.
Do you have any plans for NFL for matchup football?
Why? That's a fine question. I don't know that I've ever been asked that before, Gardner. Yes.
Okay.
But
you don't have to. Right. You don't have to reveal anything.
They are very casual plans, and they are very. They are plans based around my own interests.
Okay.
It is predominantly a college game that will work very well with the NFL because it's a larger world. In college, statistically, there's more variety.
Yes, of course.
So you built, to use a pizza analogy, sometimes people will build a game that's an 8-inch box because that's the pro stat line. It's an 8-inch box. But college is like a 12-inch pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stats they're so much larger of a variety of stats.
Even Al
top
Wilson,
and bottom.
Al Wilson with his Fast Drive football, pro and college are really not compatible.
Yeah, they're not.
No.
So, but sometimes it happens opposite, where they'll build a pro game, and then a lot of people will ask them, "Are you ever going to do college teams?" And sometimes they do, and they're trying to stuff a 12-inch pizza into an 8-inch box.
I see.
You did it the other way.
Statistically. And it doesn't really work. You've got to build a 12-inch box when you build a 12-inch box, the 8-inch pizza goes right in.
Okay.
So,
answered my question.
yes,
Okay.
they won't be entire seasons. They'll be the same size as what we're doing for college, and there'll
Right.
be random teams that I happen to like.
Nothing wrong with
Um,
that.
historically, along with a few like important matchups and
Mhm.
historic games. But what I'm doing there is I usually add a team. I usually do one once every few weeks. And then when I'm at the point where I have a full set,
You'll
it'll
let it
go
go. Right.
public.
Okay.
But I'm not really, I hate to say I'm not worrying about the NFL because it really does work. Like, I think you're going to really like it.
hmm
But I'm not going to like spend the time that needs spent to make all of, say, 1989, which would take me 3 months to make that many teams,
Right.
3 months that I didn't work on any college teams whatsoever.
Right.
So the time breakdown of my day just doesn't, but I am doing a pro team every few weeks and then just throwing them in.
And then when you build it up, then you'll say,
All
okay,
the
here you go.
teams are going to be in there eventually at some point. All the important teams, all of the main teams, the main players, because I mean, I want to play too. Like, I want to play the Bears from 85. I want to play, the Niners from 84 and 89 and 94. I want to
Right.
play, the Patriots, even from 85. Like,
Mm.
as an Illinoisan, I was an Eason fan, like a huge Eason
Tony
fan,
Easton. Wow.
because he's a Illini to me, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so I want to play all those teams as well. So it's not like I've ignored them. I just made a little bit of a promise to all my college guys right
Mhm.
away that if you bought this game, I'm in for life. Like, and I want to build a history of the sport.
That's the right thing. You're doing the right
And
thing.
Yeah.
I feel an obligation to everyone who spends a dime with me. I don't feel like I'm beholden, but I feel an obligation and a responsibility
Mhm.
for sure to make them feel like they got their money's worth over time. I don't want to, what they used to call in the PC days was abandonware, right? I don't ever want to have abandonware
Mhm.
in essence. I don't want to not produce content for these guys who have bought the game and like it, and then I just go
Okay.
off for a year and don't do anything.
No.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. And I think before I even release a game, I have a discussion with my wife, and I'm like, "Here's how much time this is going to take. Do you have any opinions on it? What do you think?" And of course, she's always like, "Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it." Like, she's always encouraging. She's like the best wife ever. But I have to decide. It's not just a fact of I have this game. It's a fact of I have this game. Can I give the community what they want for the game for 30 years? And if I say no, then I can't release the game.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I
it just
respect that.
doesn't, I don't want to have abandonware.
No.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So the long
I'm
and short,
sorry, Dave. So what you were going to say, Dave? I apologize.
you'll have some NFL at some point.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
No, that's good to know.
probably relatively soon.
Okay. Okay.
The other answer is that the hash browns usually take about 20 minutes, especially if you
Oh.
make multiple orders, as I usually do,
Okay.
of different kinds.
of different kinds, because they taste a little different. It's the cuisine, Dave. It's the cuisine.
I get it. It's the atmosphere.
It's
It is the, can I tell you, Waffle House hash browns were on the cover of Bon Appetit magazine, which is a pretty fine dining magazine. And I couldn't believe it either, honestly. But yeah, it was a whole story about how these hash browns are like, known everywhere. But I can't say it's always a place where you want to make friends, right? It's not a church,
Yeah.
right?
especially
It's
at 2 o'clock in the
I
morning.
do have to ask this. Somebody in the chat brought this up, and my wheels started spinning. And so in the squared circle, is there a Waffle House Rumble match?
That's such a fine idea. Joe, do you remember the lady threw something when we were
Well,
there?
what happened was the bacon. She hit George with the bacon. The
She
cook
threw the bacon
threw the bacon. She got mad and she flung
because
it.
it was a
And
bad piece or something, right? She did something, and so she
George,
just threw it behind her,
and it
and
hit
it hit
George.
one of our guys.
And George took it and threw it right back.
It's Waffle House,
That's how
man.
fights start. Now, look
The
at this.
Heartland.
When I do my Phil Singer wrestling, because again, that's just the fun little basics. I'm trying to come up with different titles for champions. I
Yeah.
am gonna have a Waffle House champion.
Wow.
I'm gonna have a Waffle House Rumble match. I don't know what it's gonna be or how it's gonna be. I'll look in the book and come up with something. It'll be a little bit different, but we will have a Waffle House champion here on the channel in my wrestling.
I would suggest it would be a guy with a lot of character and a lot of spirit.
That's
Just
what
a
I'm wondering.
suggestion for me.
And I
Just a
got the
suggestion.
name from King Patrick.
What?
King Patrick, the wrestler. He's going to win the Waffle House.
Oh God,
I
yeah.
gotta see if I have him. I was kind of thinking about guys from the Midwest only. That would be like the only people eligible for that.
Actually, it's more popular in the South, to be honest with you.
I'll go
Well,
south.
There are very few scattered Waffle Houses, but there was one, as you know, in Colorado by our hotel, because there are only two in Colorado, and one just happened to be right by our hotel at play.com. So as soon as I found that out, I was like, and I didn't know that people had such a divided opinion on Waffle House. Like, I thought everybody liked Waffle House.
I did too. I don't mind it.
I was
went-
wrong.
When did I go with you guys? Was that Canton that I went?
No, it was yes. You went to Canton, but you went with Joe Bryan and his wife, and I think Mark and Deb went too in Colorado, right?
Was that Colorado that I went? Because I know Joe
Yeah.
Bryan was there with his wife.
Yeah, that was in Colorado.
Oh, I didn't realize I went in Colorado.
Yeah, and you and Mike and I went in Canton
Okay, yes, I know. I've gone a couple times.
and had breakfast.
Yes, yep, I do remember that.
Yeah.
The whole key is to go at 2:30 in the morning because you
Well,
get
yeah.
a show.
Yes.
You get
Yeah,
a show.
I don't want to. I don't need a show. I don't go out after midnight. That's just not worth it. Sevens comes by, says it's already snowing there in Oklahoma, so
Wow.
that's coming. Yeah, it's coming this way. Barbara said she used to manage at the Waffle House and she used to throw guys out the door. So I mean,
well, I'm saying it's an interesting place. It is Americana, but the hash browns are damn good.
They are. I have to say.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know that I've had their bacon. It's good too. I don't know if I've ever had anything else because I go to Waffle House for the hash browns. But you have America believing that I only eat hash browns as a daily diet staple.
No,
and
you eat chicken wings.
Just not true.
I saw
I
chicken
eat
wings at the table.
I love fried chicken.
I know.
I love fried chicken.
Hey, so what is the website that we can find some of this fine stuff? Is it
It is-
wafflehouse.com/matchupfootball?
The matchup football stuff, go to our Facebook page or our Delphi page. The basketball links aren't active yet because it's not out yet until March. But the matchup college football can be found at the matchup college football Facebook page or the Delphi page. And then all the links are there in the pinned post.
And is it? Are we looking for matchup college football when we go there?
I mean, it's yes. At Facebook, yes. Matchup college football.
Okay. Yeah, game day at the Waffle House. Yeah. All of a sudden they're coming out. Dave Little's big at the Waffle House.
All right.
You
a quality guy for a quality place.
Butterbean McQueen at the Waffle House. Yep. Yeah, after baseball game goes sour at Waffle House. Yeah, I know. 4 people hospitalized at an APA tournament at Waffle House at 3 a.m. A lot of wrestlers have Waffle House stories. I would believe so. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yep. And Barbara's still throwing people out. Yep. That'd be great. Yeah, you like that crew? That crew fan comes up with that. The Waffle House champion. Now I got to figure out.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
a
it.
Waffle House Rumble. I got to figure out what it's going to be. I don't know. I'll come up with something. And I imagine Jim Cornette has some good Waffle House. So how
Oh,
are we
yeah,
talking
yeah, I
about
mean, I'm
Waffle
sure.
House here?
Yeah,
These chats go off the rail. It really is unbelievable. Here's Scott
I'm sure.
Abdullah the Butcher versus the Sheik at the Waffle House.
So
No, but
Abdullah
they don't like bacon though, right? They don't like bacon. That would be a tough match. The bacon match.
Abdullah opened up a place in Atlanta where he sold ribs. Abdullah's House of Ribs.
Really?
No kidding. I
Mhm.
think it just shut down last year, from what I remember hearing, because he's not well. He's in bad health at his age now, and so I think they shut the place down. But yeah, it was called Abdullah's House of Ribs.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was on one of the Food Networks. I remember
Yeah,
they covered it. Yeah,
apparently it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Of course,
Oh.
I'm sure jokes were made about it,
Steven
but I'm
likes
sure it was
the-
fantastic.
Steven likes the hash brown bowl. Oh, do you have a hash brown bowl in matchup college football? That would be awesome. The bacon, egg, and cheese hash brown bowl.
We should have the Waffle House Bowl in matchup college football.
We do. We need to have one of those. Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
Che-
We'll
the
broadcast
cheesesteak-
that.
The cheesesteak hash browns. Yeah. Old Country Buffet and the Golden Corral. Ron Juggett likes the Golden Corral, by the way.
Dave knows. Yeah,
I never
Golden
been to one.
Corral is okay. I'm more oh Jesus. What's the place called? It's like Golden Corral. It's country. It's got a store in the front of it.
Cracker Barrel.
Oh,
Cracker Barrel. I love
Yeah,
and
I like Cracker Barrel.
it's here in our hometown. I love Cracker Barrel.
Me too.
I do. And even Steak and Shake has really good fries. I love the string fries.
Really?
So, you know,
I really liked when we went to the was it the Shake Shack?
yeah.
Yeah,
The
we went
Shake
to that.
Shack is
I
a
kept-
chain. I didn't know that
Yeah.
until recently. They actually have a Shake Shack in Indianapolis, and I didn't know, but it's really good. And Torchy's Tacos is the place where everybody goes in Colorado
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, we went there for lunch. We did the Torchies.
Yeah.
And
They
then
have
you took me to Shake Shack, and I found that there's one 20 minutes from my house. We've been there twice already.
They have a shake.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
a Shake Shack in City Field where the Mets play.
Do
Yeah.
they?
The line you'll miss half the game.
Oh,
Yeah,
The
it's not
line,
bad.
all game long. The line is just tremendous.
Well, we should probably not talk about Waffle House for 3 hours tonight. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
Whatever people want to talk about, it's wide open. I mean, I went into this. We were going to talk about fictional. We are going to talk about the weather. We've talked about that for a minute, and the other, 2 hours and 5 minutes, we've talked about hockey and basketball and Waffle House and wrestling, and that's where
I
it
think-
goes. The idea is
Hey,
good.
hey, Scott Johnson, I think there's a Torchy Tacos in Indianapolis, but I think that might be the only place in Indiana. I know he's up around me as well, I believe, but I think Torchy's and Steak Shack, I think they're only down south in the Indy area.
Yeah. Shake Shack and Waffle House are pretty big in Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, very
Waffle
big.
House, the nearest
Okay.
one is Indianapolis as well.
Not Shake Shack. The other one you said before you like their fries.
Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake. That's what
Yeah.
Steak and Shake or Waffle House, very big in Florida.
For Steak and Shake, I can't promise anything else, but the fries are pretty tremendous.
Yeah, I've never been there. So
Yeah,
We had
you know,
we had Five Guys the other day. You guys have a Five Guys?
good fries.
Five
good fries.
Guys. If you don't mind oily, soggy
Yes.
fries,
Yes.
they're great.
They're great, right?
They were all right
If you
for
don't
good.
have to have a crunch.
I'm not. Yeah, they're not crunchy at all. I got a burger there. I think it's the two smash patties there with cheese and onions. I mean, mushrooms, grilled mushrooms, whatever.
Yeah.
We went there. We were out doing something. She's like, "Let's just go to Five Guys for lunch." It's perfect. So we stopped in. It's like, oh my gosh, that burger was so good. The
No,
other
it's
day.
great. The problem with them is they and McDonald's are the two places who the last couple years, for some reason, have gotten like out of control expensive
Oh,
and have raised their prices so much.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
McDonald's as well has raised, I saw like a chart. McDonald's has raised them the most of all the Hardee's, the Taco Bell, and it's like 100% higher than it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh yeah.
you know what, and this we could spend another 3 hours on this because my
Yeah.
theory. My whole theory was a lot of these places went nuts with their prices from COVID.
Oh yeah,
When they rate and they and
Yeah.
we tried to understand it. They weren't doing business. They had to do
Yeah.
deliveries, but when they never went back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they never went back. They said, "Yeah, we're getting it. We're
Yeah.
gonna still get it."
I deal with that a lot in my other life, which is the history and politics
Mhm.
world. And I try not to allow the two lives to
Good
cross
cross,
ever,
yes.
ever, because it
That's why I
never
said we
works.
could talk about this for 3 hours, and I don't want to do that. Right,
No, the sports life, this whole
right.
world is the world that I like the most.
Me too.
It's pure happiness for me most of the time.
I'm with you.
Um, but COVID had a lot of effects that we're still feeling and are probably going to feel for like 20 years.
And that
Yeah.
people that some of these businesses took advantage of
Yes.
without going
Yeah,
crazy
I
into
think
it.
that's all I should probably say about
Yeah,
it
yeah.
before I go into
Yeah.
a rant.
No, yeah. Let's
That's
go
Well,
back
not
again.
just
the
going to
purpose
get
of this. Yeah.
but just
But
going to get a
yeah,
Big Mac instead of it being $4 or $5, it's now 10 or 11.
yeah, no,
It's like whoa.
Dave, an ice cream cone is almost $3 at McDonald's,
Wow, that used to be a
where
giveaway.
it used to be $1.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
giveaway basically.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
just
mean,
like the
it's
Burger
gone
King.
up 200%.
I get the hamburgers at Burger King, like after the Burger King by the rink. So after hockey on Saturday at lunch, I'll stop in and I usually get 3 hamburgers, just plain hamburgers,
Yeah.
and in either a Diet Coke or a ginger ale or something, and I'll have that on the way home, and that'll be my lunch. And it's $12 for 3 just
The little
re-
guys, right?
plain little hamburgers there, not the whatever it is, and in a medium Diet Coke, it's like $12. It's like holy
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah.
I think they used to be like $1, and now they're like closer to $3
No,
for,
it's
just for a
gotten to
hamburger.
where like you might as well go out and eat now. If I
Yeah,
mean if you're
yeah,
going out to
Quality
eat.
food, right?
I mean, if you want to spend $25, $30 for 2 people or more, you might as well go to a restaurant.
yeah,
There's no reason now to go to Taco Bell or Burger King or Hardee's or
No.
McDonald's because you're going to spend 25, $30.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
there's no reason to do that anymore.
Might
It
as well go to the
becomes
diner and get a burger. Really?
it's
Yeah.
like really you just go there to get a drink now. It could be because the McDonald's Coke is fine still. But you don't go there to eat anymore. Like it's too much. It's too expensive
yeah. Go out to
compared to anywhere else.
go to a regular place, $40. We'll get you, a couple of burgers and whatever. It's
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're-
You might as well just go to like a regular
yeah, way
Mhm.
better
place
than
now.
than the Burger King or the McDonald's. Yeah. So now
Agreed.
Groove Fan says chicken strips, fries, and a drink at Wendy's is now $13.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot, man.
Crazy.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
lot for all of us. Like we shouldn't. Somewhere along the way too, like people thought everybody had a had a bunch of money, a bunch of spendable income. And we probably did as a society. Like you'll go into a poor person's house and the poor person has like an 80-inch television,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So at some point we did, yes, we all had a bit of spendable income. But when everybody begins to catch up with that and to overcharge us for everything, we no longer really have spendable income. I mean, it's caught up at this point. So it's becoming harder to afford daily life. But on the other side of that, we also should look more at how we spend money.
And spend it on gaming.
Yeah. No, right?
Which relatively, and I tell my wife this, is a cheap hobby
It is.
compared to
It is.
I have a pal that has a golf hobby and he's going to South Carolina all the time. I have a guy that has a car hobby, has a boat hobby.
Oh,
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm buying a couple games. Like, I
If
feel
I-
okay.
If I spend $150 on a game, okay, and I
Yeah.
play it 20 times, that came to what? $7.50?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
7,000.
No, I totally agree with that
I can't go to the
thinking,
movies.
yeah.
I can't go to the movies for $7.
And,
Yeah.
and you still have that game on
And
the
I still-
shelf.
I
And
can-
the
Yeah.
more you play it, the cheaper it gets. And if you want to sell it someday, you can turn around and even make a little bit of money
or
on
trade
it. Yeah.
it, right?
So, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys feel like the last year, because Dave, you're now in year what? Like year 8? Something like that?
Let me see. Yeah, I think it was 2017, 2018. I kind of started this.
And so, Joe, how many years have you been now playing outside of Strat?
We're in what, 2026? I would say about two and eight, two and eight. Well,
Okay.
about 2 years.
So, do you guys find right now that you're playing more games, or you're starting to concentrate again to fewer games and to play them more often?
So it's funny. I think I went like this.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to do this again.
Yeah. So am I. That's why I ask.
I'm starting to do, and I drew perfect example.
Yeah. I did that as well. I did this. I do
like,
this every holiday, every Black Friday. Boom.
yes.
And then as the year goes by, I'm playing like fewer and fewer games. I have 20 baseball games. I think I play 3 to 5.
What I found starting to happen to me was I like all my games that I own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I've found that like I have so many games now at the time, and I say, I was rushing through this game because I couldn't wait to get this game on the table. Now I was rushing through this, and I said, wait a minute. I sat back and says, I got to enjoy it. What I started to do lately, like let's say I told you I put matchup college football. I don't have anything on the other table.
Yeah.
This way I can concentrate. I'm starting to go back like that again. And
I
maybe
did
do a
too.
couple.
I rushed through a whole bunch of games. I was so excited. Christmas morning, tearing through.
Yeah.
Cousins.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I don't like this. And then I went back. Hockey Blast is one of those I went back to. It's one of those I play throw it, you know. And then I went back. I was like, and I gave it the time, and I was like, you know, this is pretty good. So I did I did the same thing. I went back to games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good to go back to games. I think it's good to, I mean, there are so many factors. Time of year, how your life is going, it impacts it. You know, the day, the time of day, everything impacts it. But I find that the games that I love right now, I really love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it's not that I don't want to be out here again,
No,
but I find that I'm streamlining even if I don't want to, because I just can't get these 5 or so games off the table because I'm having such a good time with them.
I can relate to that.
And because I think the hobby has gotten so good, and the designers, man, all the designers are designing things now. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of games that should not have been designed, because it happens in any hobby when it gets more popular. But you're also going to get all these games at the top that are unlike anything that was ever designed before. And they're just marvelous.
You know what I love about the hobby now? And again, you know, you mentioned I was a Strat guy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still love my Strat baseball to me. But what I love about the hobby is when people now say to me, well, what baseball games do you play? I play Strat. I play History Maker Baseball. I play Season Ticket Baseball. Which do you think is better? The hobby? No, the developers are so good. My thing is, if I feel like I want a narrative, I'm pulling History Maker Baseball down.
Yeah.
Okay. If I feel like I don't want to do the tons of charts, I'm pulling Season Ticket Baseball. And sometimes I feel like I want that super advanced feeling, I pull Strata. So I think the hobby's gotten to a place where, yes, there's more developers making great games, and every game offers something different that I can enjoy and what I feel like. I feel like a steak tonight, I'm going to the steakhouse. Now I feel like a hot dog, I'm going down the block. That's what I love about the hobby now.
Yeah.
Or it's even more like having bands that you like. Like, I'm a Springsteen fanatic, right? I couldn't play Springsteen all day and all night every day of the week. Like, I have a ton of other bands from all different eras that I like. And I can't say that. It just depends on the day. It depends on the mood. It depends on what I want to get out of it. The fact that we have all these options now as well, it's really a golden age. It's a golden era. It's a wonderful time to be in the hobby, and I, I don't want to brown nose everybody in the chat room, but I don't know of any other hobby where you have such a concentration of nice people
No, I agree.
and well-meaning, smart, fun people who care
Helpful.
about what you're doing and about your interests and your
Mhm.
passions and want to be a part of all these games. Everyone who buys any game that I make, man, I instantly have a bond with them and an obligation to them just as a friend. I
Yes.
mean, forget the whole corporate side of it. Just I want them to have a phenomenal time. And anything I can do to help that, I'll do.
Mhm.
It's such a wonderful time to be in the hobby. And
I
especially when
agree.
you're seeing, so for those out there who don't know, my wife is a counselor. So she's a licensed mental health therapist. All, all of you, it's okay to laugh at this point because I obviously, um, no, she's great though. So, but she says all the time, like, she's never seen a mental health crisis in America like the one that's happening right now and has happened again for about 5 or 6 years.
Mhm.
Um, and that's still happening. And for this hobby to be, as a pal of mine would also say, a constant companion of ours,
Mhm.
for these games to be constant companions. I know people who have taken these games through divorces, through tragedies, through big moves in their life, through college and having kids and graduations and all of these things. And these games, while they're obviously not human, have been our constant companions
Agreed.
and are always there when you need to get out of them what you need to get out of them.
Mm.
And for mental health in America right now, I I can't even stress the importance. Like to have a a totally okay, I won't say totally. To have a community that is 95%
Oh, yeah.
healthy and is always a friend and is always kind,
Mhm.
and will always help you even if you've never spoken to them
Mhm.
before. Uh, the community is really doing a lot of good work right now, all around, everyone in it, every single person in it.
Without people realizing it. Yes.
Yeah, without
Yes.
people realizing the good that it's doing.
Well, I just look at how many when I first started this, how many new games are available since I started this. You know what, 8 or 9 years ago. It's
Yeah.
amazing how many new games that have come out just since I've been in the hobby. You know,
Well,
um,
the other thing.
let me ask you something. Bruce Springsteen did he do Sleepy Jean? Cheer up, Sleepy Jean. Was that Bruce Springsteen?
That was the Monkeys, actually. Daydream Believer
Did he cover it? Did he cover that by
did
chance?
not. Listen, I'll say this about Springsteen.
Yeah.
Springsteen and I don't actually agree on a whole lot in life, except music. I've been a fan since I was a little kid, and there was an era of his that I liked more in the 80s and 90s. Most people who like Springsteen like the even earlier stuff.
Mhm.
To me, 80s and 90s, uh, he's lost a little bit of the shine for me the last 20 years or so, but
Oh, you can't argue the classics.
you
Yeah,
can't take away the 80s and
yeah,
90s. Like you
yeah,
can't just, hit delete or backspace on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like
All
so
right,
I'm really passionate
No more
about that era.
No more Bruce Springsteen talk. But
Jeez.
yeah, you can't take away some of
You
that.
guys are killing me.
Let me get back to the we were talking about new games. We talked about branching out, right, and trying different things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now we come back in. I like to try new games. In fact, like when I go through my phases where I try 10, 20 different games and then again you bring it back in and some of them end up sticking, some of them don't. But the thing is that if he's like, oh, I get too many games, I don't want to try that one.
Yeah.
You never know.
No, yeah.
Because
You don't.
I look at 49 Quick Decks Hockey, right?
Mm.
Pass that over, so many times. Joe passed it over at D to D-Con last
D,
year. We're just like
It's the funniest story.
pegs and squares for hockey, right?
Little building blocks to play hockey. I
Yeah,
said
what
to
am I
Joe,
playing with his Legos or something? I
Yeah.
saw it at the doctor's office, you know.
Yeah.
But then you play it and you're like, oh
Whoa.
my, this is so good.
Whoa.
And
No,
now
I
that
get it.
and then it
And
gets
I
into
love
the-
Grant. Like, and again, what a nice
Another
dude, man.
gentleman in our
Yeah,
hobby.
yeah.
Oh,
But
God,
the-
what a nice
so many-
guy.
Even that guy ST is a decent guy.
Oh, stop.
There's
Hey,
so-
ask my wife. Hey.
Well, that's because I was just going to say you
so
have a
many-
good woman. to fight.
but the
I'm
thing is-
always in line because of her. Like, my wife's actually out of town this evening in Indianapolis. She's on her way home. But like, I'm at home, having an online chat with the Yahoos here and talking about Waffle House. I mean, what's
Yeah.
it's not like I'm out.
But if you
My
don't
wife knows.
try new games, you never know
Yeah,
where it's gonna land. And like
yeah.
what
No,
Rod-
that's
Rod-
totally
Roddy
true.
Roddy puts it good here because I played Appa only Appa for the past years or so. But he's opened up his eyes.
Wow.
Now I play payoff pitch more than any for baseball, bank shot, primetime hoops.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's and
Same, Rowdy.
if he never tried it,
Same.
and again, and you never. Your favorite game is never gone. It never
Yeah.
disappears.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Joe still
Yeah.
goes back to Strat all the time, but he's playing different games now, and it's like
Mm.
this is kind of cool. If like he said, he's in the mood
Yeah.
for narrative, he plays this. He's in the mood
Yep.
for something quick, I play this. You
I
know,
totally agree.
and that. So if you never try something because you have your game,
No, it is.
There are
That's
a
the
few-
hard part. But it
Like-
becomes harder when you love a game so much. It's harder to put it aside and fit the experimental game on the table, even if you're going to love it. You're like, man, those are hard choices for a hobbyist. Like, for me to just decide what I want to play that day is pretty tough.
Yeah, sometimes you guys look at my
There-
shelf. And go,
Yeah,
what
I mean,
can
there's so many options that are out of this world.
yeah.
Mhm.
And remember the beginning of the show, I said I was clearing out the outpost in this game. I was playing on the PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
I was getting mad. I had to fly this hang glider down to the beach, and I kept crashing and dying. And after 5 times, I was, I don't get that when I come to the tabletop. And I,
Yeah.
Yeah.
started the top of the show with that, and that is the truth. I don't have that anger when I'm playing these games here. I have a lot of fun. I mean, the whole Ken Maka thing, that's a fun storyline. The Spiders project I did, the Phil Singer wrestling, so many fun things have happened here, whether I've been live or just on my tabletop, seeing, learning different games, the Appa football, loving that. I don't get to play it because it takes a long time, so I don't play it as much, but I just play those games. Oh, this is so awesome. And I don't have that
Absolutely.
video game anger. I come here and it is relaxing. It just really is. And rolling those dice and looking at those charts of the cards, whatever it is, it is just it's hard to describe. Barbara says that she's this community's sent her some games and that gets her through her day. When she's not
absolutely.
when she's not shoveling snow, or managing the Waffle House. I mean, she likes to play games. Is
Yeah.
what it is.
Absolutely.
and
No, I
Rob-
get it.
It's a great way to step out from all things in the world and sometimes struggles in our own lives and just relax and enjoy something. It is therapeutic.
No, yeah, that's exactly it, Rowdy. Is, if you ever want to find some people that aren't happy in life, find people who don't have hobbies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
And there are some. There are a lot of people out there that just go to work, they come home, and they don't really like to do anything. They don't really have any hobbies. But I feel like hobbies, sure, it's nostalgia, and sure, we romanticize that a lot. But I think it's healthy. I really do.
no question about it. Oh, gentlemen,
Dave, God, Dave Little, I've talked so nice about you all night. Oh,
So, yeah, we could wrap it up here. We went on for a couple of hours or so tonight, just chatting with you guys here, and we never did get to the weather. So, everybody out there, bundle up. It's going to be cold. The temperature, as I'm looking at my computer here, I'm watching the temperature drop because it's just telling me what it is outside, and it just keeps dropping. It's supposed to be, so it's 15 now. It's supposed to drop another 15 degrees to be 0 when I wake up, or not wake up in the morning. Depending
Right now, in the hamlet of Auburn, Indiana, it is a chilly -1 degree
Get out of here, really?
Fahrenheit.
Oh
It
man,
is.
Ben's at -19 right now. Oh my gosh, where are you in northern Canada?
We're at 15, and it feel like -4 right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, the feel like
It's
is
probably,
is even lower, but right now it's actually -1.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barbara's at -1 right now too. So it's
Yeah,
it's coming
feel
this
that.
way. It's coming this way. Can you guys just hang on to it for a little while longer? I mean that'd be fine. But yeah. So we never did get to the all the talk about the weather and stuff. But yeah.
But I
So
love the Midwest, so
now maybe Sunday might come back. Like I say, depends how much snow we have. What I was kind of hoping to do Sunday is see if I could set my iPad up and aim it at the storm outside through a window or something, and then
Yeah.
dial that into the show, and so we could have a couple of cameras here with that. So that might be kind of fun at some point there. -4 in Indiana, -13 in Madison.
And ST, before we sign off, you need
Yeah.
anything with Hockey Blast, just give me a shout.
I
Yeah.
sure will. I sure will. And I hope that helped everyone in the chat who's in the boat that I am. That's why we're here. And we want to, I wanted to ask all the things that I asked publicly. So hopefully it helps some other people as
Yes.
well.
Hockey is the hardest, like Joe said. It's so hard to find, exact hockey lines and who played who. You can find who played in the game. That's the one
Yeah.
thing that is easy to find.
Okay.
Even if they didn't get any points, it shows you how much time
I'm on
the
it.
ice they had. Oh, that's the other thing you could do is if they have time on ice, sometimes
Yeah.
they do. You can see the guys that played 25 minutes and the guys that played 5 minutes.
Okay.
And so that
Will they
gives you an
always
idea.
be? So I would assume that everyone on the line would be exactly the same, right?
No,
Or is that
sometimes
not the case?
they'll change earlier on the fly. So
Before, not to prolong the show, but perfect point. Wayne Gretzky, the year 81, 82, when he scored, the 50 goals in 39 games.
Mhm.
And I tell people they've done replays, and people who are not really big hockey, they're like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't get his numbers. And I was like, did you double shift them? Did you play him on the first and third
Okay.
line? Because
Yeah.
that's what they
See,
did.
I wouldn't have known that
Right,
either.
and if you're a casual hockey fan, you're not going to know that. And a few other people said, yeah, I did that, and the numbers came close. They did come close. So there's and hockey is probably the toughest, because baseball, you get your lineup, and then you can see who pinch hit, what relief pitcher came. Hockey, you don't know if he played 4 shifts. You know what I'm saying, or 1 shift. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but sometimes the time on the ice will give you an
Yeah, give
idea
an idea. Yes.
where they are.
Yes.
Well, before we go, I want to say thank you so much to everyone in the chat room as well
Yes.
for always being there and always being kind and always being very helpful. And I want to thank Dave and Joe, or Joe and Dave, for having me on and spending some time with me tonight. I did not know either of them 3 to 5 years ago, not personally, and now I do, and now they are amongst my hobby friends, and I'm glad they are. So thank you to everybody out there, and to Joe and Dave as well for having me on.
I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your knowledge with us and giving us some insight into what your plans are, what you're doing, your games.
Yeah, thanks.
I always Dave will tell you. I always say,
Oh, yeah.
I always go match up a college football
Yeah.
whenever we talk about football. I think it's maybe the best game out there. It's
Man,
second.
thank you so much. I just love it, and I love how it's built a community of college fans where I don't think they really had someplace to go before then.
I was
And
never
it's
a-
because of those people. Like, I would still play the game by myself. And every time I design a game, I have to design it where if no one buys this and no one's interested,
You're gonna play it.
am I still going to want to play it for 35 years? The answer is yes.
Okay.
But it's because of those guys, not because of me. It's because of those guys who bring their passion about it every day and just make it a wonderful community. So to all those guys, thank you so much. I mean, it's an honor and it's a blessing that if I had the right word, I would use it. I don't. But yeah, it's because of them.
Yep, and I'm looking forward to the basketball game. I really am.
Yeah, me
saw
too.
A little bit. I saw a little bit where you were going in May when I was out in Colorado.
Yeah,
No, or
yeah.
June when Colorado.
Yeah.
So I did see some of it, and I kind of liked what I saw, and I can only imagine it's getting better from there. And from what you
Yeah.
said, the idea, all the different ways that you can play, as far Now, could you like sim the half and then play the end?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. It would be hard if you stopped like halfway through a half or halfway through a quarter. You would want to end at some place that you can do stats for.
I see.
But yeah, you can do that at halftime. You can do that at the end of the first quarter, at the end of the third quarter. Yeah, absolutely. You can go back and forth. Yeah, it's hybrid in that way for sure.
Nice. That looks fun. So,
Yep.
All
yeah.
right,
Well, I
gentlemen.
hope we answered your hockey questions. Or at least
Yes, thank you
tried
so
to.
much.
No
So
problem.
and so Joe, thanks for coming on. I probably won't talk to you, Joe, until you get back. Well, until you're down in the south somewhere. Yeah.
No, I'm not leaving. I'm not scheduled to leave till Tuesday.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, because I know we're getting hit with that snow.
Yeah.
So Sunday and Monday I'll be snow blowing. And I imagine. But
yeah, we'll talk. I'm sure we'll
yeah.
chat in the text.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the spiders guy on to talk about his spiders project, but he's
That'll be
having.
fun.
He says he had to order a camera and a microphone. Doesn't know if it's going to be in by Wednesday. So
All
I
right.
told him not to fret. He says if they come in, we'll test it, see if it works. If not, then we'll
Push it back
reschedule.
another week, right?
We'll reschedule.
right.
Not a big deal. So,
Yeah,
but we
that'll
will
be a
get
good show,
him on.
guys.
So,
Thank you,
all
sir.
right. Thanks everybody for coming by.
Good one, everybody. Good night.
Stay
safe.
warm. Get your shovels up. Take care, and
Roll-
hopefully we'll see you on the other
roll
side of
them
this storm.
bones.
Yeah. Yep. Go out and have some fun.
Thank
with
you,
that.
guys.
Thank you.